There we go. Is this going to work now? There we go. Just had to sort out the microphone. It wasn't picking up for a second by the looks of things. Welcome, folks, back to our first game of the day. It is beautiful Saturday, the 17th of July, and we are about to hop into our 4th to 6th games for the current round of the 2021 NTEL League of Legends season. Now we're going to throw it over and hop into our casting desk with who we're going to be playing with real quick, because we are indeed about to get underway. Let's throw it over to Champ Select here. Our first game for today is going to be between Casuarina Gentleman and Astra, and I'm joined here on the casting desk by none other than Chris Strider Pilling. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. How are you doing, Jackson?
I'm doing rather fantastic. Now, walk us through this draft here. Looks like Viego getting taken out first up by Casuarina Gentleman.
Ooh. Yes, definitely a pretty powerful and meta pick at the moment. He has been slightly shifted more into the jungle due to his slight nerfs in lane, but yeah, very respectable band coming out of Casuarina Gentleman.
It definitely is a powerhouse. I lost a solo queue game only yesterday from getting ran over by a fed Viego, so intimately familiar with the raw power that character can put out of his kit.
Definitely, and Singe actually been taken out here as well. I guess that's a targeted ban for their signature top laner, and Diana being banned out as well. It looks like they're kind of targeting the jungle pool of Astra at this moment, so I'm quite surprised by the Vayne ban. What are your thoughts on that, Cadius?
Well, I think Vayne is terrible. I think that champion sucks. I think I had like 3 Vaynes in solo queue yesterday. I don't think any of them did well. I think if you're looking for an 80 carry that's just going to be a glass cannon to really deal with tanks, I think like Kog'Maw is just better.
Yeah, there's a lot of definitely more meta picks. And Nasus and Mundo being banned out, of course. We know Nasus being the split push powerhouse
he's
that
pretty
he is.
good right now.
Yeah, and Mundo has actually been picked up in popularity on all the pro scenes around the world. I guess players are starting to figure him out a little bit. What are your thoughts on Mundo being banned here?
I think he's pretty gross into certain compositions, but I think into other compositions he's also pretty not that great. So banning him first phase is a little bit concerning. I think, if he was problematic, maybe second phase he might be a little bit better. But I mean, it does make sense if you're looking to pick up the Trundle, since the pillar does get stopped by his passive, so you can't actually gank him very easily if you are going for the Trundle top, Trundle jungle. Lulu Cog is going to get picked up phase 1. Let's go, baby. That's what I love to see. Finally, we get Lulu Cog in NTEL. This combo is disgusting, and it has been grossly underutilized by the majority of teams in the tournament. But finally, no longer we wait.
Yeah, it's finally happening, and I wouldn't be surprised if they actually finish this composition and get more protection for Kog'Maw, to say the least. But Lulu, just as a champion itself, is just completely busted at the moment, especially paired with someone like Kog'Maw.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to actually see this in game. But Jinx actually been locked in here. I guess Jinx does okay into Kog'Maw, but we'll definitely need a bit of help with that Rakan being locked in as well.
I think Jinx is the wrong pick into Kog'Maw, because once Kog'Maw, assuming he's going the correct build here, and he's going to be going for, the kind of like Wits End, Runan's Hurricane, Randuin's Omen build, like the Bruiser Cog, Jinx trying to get through that Randuin's Omen is going to be very, very difficult. So I think if you're picking something like Jinx that is playing to kind of equally scale up with the Kog'Maw, it's not that great. Whereas, you want to be picking something that can really bully him early. Pick those things like the Draven, like the Varus, like the Misfortune, and try and bully him out of lane before he gets those item spikes. So I think Jinx might be a bit of a misplay, but Rakan is definitely some needed aggression in that 2v2 to help lock down the Cog. Shen getting locked in here, though. That is definitely going to be a lot of peel for the Cog.
Yeah, just pretty textbook 101 with that Kog'Maw, with the Shen and Lulu. I won't be surprised if Morgana mid gets locked in at this point, but we'll never know. But Gangplank actually being banned out now, so they're assuming they still have a flex with the Trundle being first picked here, potentially jungle or top, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, Gangplank, pretty good champion into the Shen, is able to deal with his kind of W very well by just poking with Q, poking with barrels. Casuarina getting taken away. I don't know if Malix is known for his Casuarina, perhaps. Maybe that's a little bit of a pick that they are frightened of. I can do a little bit of a look up right now.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Casuarina definitely a solo queue champion by all means. It's not really seen in the pro scene, but it is a scary champion.
Malix does not play that champion, so I'm not sure what
maybe it's a comfort ban, but they weren't sure. But Orianna being banned out in the last instance for Casuarina, gentlemen. So I guess Orianna is pretty good with their composition as well, that AD Astra going for. But Azir actually being hovered here. I'm quite excited now. And it is locked in.
Azir's quite good. It just adds a lot of pseudo peel, especially really, really good at dealing with Trundle. Because, you just put the wall up. Trundle absolutely just has no way of getting around it. So you're able to basically make Trundle almost a non-factor on your backline. Azir's also quite good at bullying Sylas early game, but Sylas does have some crazy plays he can do with both stealing Stand United, stealing Azir wall, stealing the wild growth. So a lot of big potential for plays here. Volibear going to be the last lock-in though.
Yeah, I could see it being a slight counter to Azir.
I don't think. I was gonna say Master Yi. I don't think Master Yi is gonna be a wise pick here. When you pick the Azir, you pick the Cog Lulu. You've already got enough damage. Just pick something that can just make things happen. And Vi is gonna be exactly that here. Not only is her W passive gonna do wonders at shredding down Volibear and Trundle for her carries, but she is also just gonna be that big frontline threat. I'm assuming. Gonna make a big assumption here that this is going to be a chem tank Vi, gonna go for more of the tankier build. That is quite often
I can
seen.
see that. Can definitely see that, but
And it's just going to be used to play engage for this team.
For sure. So just based off the compositions here, you can tell AD Astra definitely got everything they asked for just about. And Casuarina Gentleman probably going for a more dive-heavy centric composition, hoping that Jinx can carry later stages of the game, but she's got a snowball in that instance to even have a chance against this Cogmore pick.
Definitely. I mean, if we're looking at just compositions alone, I think Ad Astra definitely knocked it out of the park with this one. Very, very strong. Yeah, no, he's very, very strong just champion in general. That Cogmore, when paired with the Lulu, it's even more disastrous. Lulu has a little bit of synergy with the Zia as well. Lulu W on a Zia makes him be able to attack way faster with his soldiers in the late game, so I wouldn't be surprised if this does end up being a lethal tempo as Zia as well. And then Shen and Vi, just two very simple champions that are both very good, especially at this level of play, where people aren't respecting, the Vi ult ganks, not respecting Stand United in their all-ins. So, gonna be excited to see how this one goes.
Yeah, definitely. I can see Shen ulting on Vi as Vi goes for that heavy engage, but at the same time could also be used as pseudo peel with a Zia just to lock down whoever gets onto the Cogmore. But as we go through spectator delay, would you like to do our shout outs to our major and minor sponsors, Cadius?
Yeah, absolutely. We can throw it over to our major sponsors. And as always, the three big boys that we've got for this season are Paul's Iced Coffee, the Territory Zone, celebrating 60 years here in the Territory, in fact. As well as that, we've got the Northern Territory Government and McDonald's Darwin, who are the people that are responsible for most of the McDonald's branches in the top end area, including Darwin and Palmerston. So, definitely big shout outs to all of those folks. Wouldn't be able to have this big prize pool that all the players that you're about to see tonight are going to be battling it out for without these fellas. But that's not to say that we also don't have our huge roster of minor sponsors for 2021. So all the people on your screen that you see right here, big shout outs to all of them. And as always, folks, you can see it right there on the screen, but hashtag support local. All of these businesses that you're seeing in front of you right now for the minor sponsors, they are all great local Territory businesses. So be sure to go and support them when you can. But I think we're going to throw it over back to our champs leg. Now, Chris, I haven't really talked much on your predictions exactly for this game. Who do you think is going to be taking it out between Casuarina Gentleman and Ad Astra?
It's really tough not to say AD Astra just because they're pretty much protected at all stages of the game. Silas and Volibear definitely will have to make a lot of proactive plays in the bot lane or around objective control. Maybe look for early dragons to force AD Astra to respond to a soul point potentially, or even Baron. But even then, AD Astra definitely outdrafted Casuarina Gentleman quite severely in this instance. But I've just been told that Conditioner has given skins to all his teammates that are on the Casuarina Gentleman side. So shout out to Conditioner there for making them look schmick for this game, so to speak.
And we are about to hop into the game. Very exciting stuff. Yeah.
But I'm assuming you're also favoring AD Astra in this instance.
Absolutely, I'm favoring AD Astra. I have been preaching from the rafters for teams to start picking up Cog Lulu, or just enchanters in general, picking up the Lulu. I think Lulu is only really good with Cogmore. She's also has a lot of synergy with Vayne, obviously, but I think Vayne is terrible, so that doesn't matter. So I think Cog Lulu is the only time that she's good bot lane. Otherwise, I think she can fit into a lot of comps, but more so as a mid and a top pick. In terms of a support pick, I think she's definitely best with Cogmore. I think if you're picking someone that isn't Cogmore, I think other enchanters are better usually, like the Karma, the Seraphine, the Soraka. But Lulu specifically just really enables Cogmore to be disgusting within the laning phase. Now let's throw it over to in-game here. We can have a quick look at how these teams are going to start it off. Level 1.
Yeah, level 1. So just for sync purposes, Cadius, what are your seconds exactly?
20, 21, 22.
All right. Cool. We're on sync as of now, so that is good to know. But looking like pretty standard layout for blue side and red side, just protecting their entrances, so to speak. And a bit of a ward lay down early for AD Astra.
Yeah, Kiratine does look like he's going to be grabbing a little bit of vision.
Yeah, well, all the vision you can get in this game. Casuarina gentlemen will definitely have a bit of a task ahead of them to try to accelerate this game, while AD Astra are just going to do the complete opposite. But you never know, this Kira team could actually probably go bonkers with the Vi early on because her base damage is quite strong early versus this Trundle. But Trundle opting to take Ghost in this instance, I don't know if that is correct. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I'm not really sure on the old Trundle jungle whether Ghost or Flash is better. I mean, Ghost definitely an okay pick, but I think being able to get that like Flash pillar to get ganks is definitely very, very explosive. So you do lose out on that a little bit, and I don't think that their team is going to be too kind of mobile to need to Ghost to catch up to them. To get kited, you know, Kog'Maw, Azir, not the most mobile champions. Azir does have that one dash, but it's on quite a long cooldown, so I don't know, interesting definitely, but we'll see how he makes it work.
Yeah, so Sylar's probably looking to shove the mid lane as much as possible, but he will probably be trading his HP a lot. But hopefully we see this Jinx and Rakan be super aggressive early onto this Kog'Maw and Lulu. Definitely looking pretty standard lanes throughout the game for both sides. Hopefully we'll be able to see some early action, but a lot of trades and a lot of rockets coming out of Jinx relatively early, shoving that lane relatively quick. Maybe they had some thoughts on Vi not being down
getting
there.
a little bit of a big play here.
Oh
He gets the
my
level
gosh.
2 spike, and he's just shredding through Forsaken's health bar. Really, 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 that is the #1 rule of top lane, folks, to anyone looking in that wants to get better at top lane. Track the level 2, because if you know that the enemy is about to hit level 2 off a minion, which is the first melee minion of the second wave that they'll hit level 2. You just have to completely concede. You have to just concede and not go anywhere close to them. You have to concede all CS until you hit level 2 as well. Basically, you have to kind of just wait for the wave to shove in because they're probably going to get prio at that point. So there we saw Shen, who didn't respect volley hitting level 2, walked up a little bit too far and just got most of their health nuked away. And that is exactly what you don't want to see happen.
Yeah, looking pretty rough for Shen at the moment. PTA Volibear isn't anything to snuff about. Definitely going to win the early lane phase, as Shen is more known for just scaling normally. And when he hits level 3, he's supposed to start winning trades, but this doesn't seem to be the case, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely not.
Volibear PTA is really, really strong.
Volibear is going to get massively outscaled in this lane. It's also a bit of a skill matchup, obviously. Like, Shen needs to be using his W to block Volibear Q, which I'm not really seeing him do. So if he's not able to do that, then Volibear is going to be really abusive in this laning phase. But Shen does have the tools to be able to outplay his kits, so it's just a matter of using them correctly.
Yeah, and walking out of the damage there. But man, that is a lot of damage to take this early on in the lane phase. May be forced to take a TP if he takes any more damage. So that would be very advantageous for Bin Laden on this Volibear. So he misses out on a bit of XP and maybe look for that level 6 play before Forsaken on the Shen hits level 6. But Azir not really managing his mana that well. Maybe he's going for a cheetah recall, but he really needs to look to shove this lane to pull that off.
I mean, I didn't see Azir's runes. I don't know if he does have the... I also noticed that Azir is going Conqueror, which I don't agree with. You have a Lulu on your team, so I think... You know, Lulu is probably going to be picking... That's so much damage. Why would you go in? Oh, risky taunt. Risky taunt. Shen just needs to recall, to be honest. He just needs to get out of there. But
could be a bait, but we'll see what this
that's true. Vi is topside. He's going to walk out of the E there nicely.
Yeah, or maybe the thought of not having flash, maybe a bit enticing for Bin Laden to take this dive on the tower, but opting to back off.
Kira might be going in here on the Vi, walking around.
He's so low, sub 100 HP. And Volibear could actually outtrade this Vi correctly, but he does not have the mana to pull it off, unfortunately. This is looking a bit rough.
Here comes Trundle. Trundle's going to be coming in. He pops the Ghost. Kira getting chased down. Forsaken doesn't have any health here. Oh, Kira getting a beautiful play there to secure up the kill. Malix with the TP, though. It's a 2v1. Kira is going to get connected with the chains and go down. The Abduct finding its mark, and that is going to be a nice little pickup for Malix in the mid lane 1v1.
So that's what we like to see, Malix actually taking the proactive TP ahead of EasyDR on the Azir, and unfortunately the wave was in a bad position. Azir opted to teleport onto the tower, but yeah, Malik's got onto the wave and they were able to clean that up. So a nice little skirmish working out there for Casuarina Gentleman, 2 for 1.
Really going to be interesting to see what this Vi is building. It does look like Vi is actually going for the Divine Sunderer build. Not going to go for a bit of Chem Tank action here. Not going to go for that more tanky, proactive kind of engaged role in the team comp. Going to be looking for a bit of a bruiserish, more carry type of build. Which is interesting, because your team has a ton of damage already in the form of Azir and Kog'Maw. So I feel like to round out the comp, you definitely just want to have some frontline that can really bully this Jinx, really bully the Sylas, and stop them from being able to have their way with things. But we'll see how it goes. We do have a bit of a wave shoved in here bot side, which may be an opening for Casuarina Gentleman to potentially take this dragon.
Yeah, they're hovering, but not sure what's going to happen. But a lot of pinks all over the Drake pit and the river in general coming out of Casuarina Gentleman. They definitely have vision of Vi, so they're playing back a little bit. Vi's going to eventually get, a bit of an engage here from Sylas and baiting out the easy TR.
Oh, easy doctor there, unfortunately, does miss the big ulti.
Alright, so
Emperor's Divide, that's the name. There we go.
Let's see if Sylas can return the favor, taking away his ultimate, but probably won't be able to see that anytime soon. He's probably just going to shove this in, forces Zia to recall under turret after a couple more waves while he expends his mana to CES. But nah, 1k gold lead coming out of Casuarina Gentleman. They have played quite well besides that skirmish in the top lane, which gave them a good lead. But this Kog'Maw Lulu remains untouched at the moment, and that's what you want to see coming out of AD Astra.
It is really worrying, though. This Kog Lulu should be winning 2v2s very, very hard, but I think they're playing a little bit too passive. I don't think they realize that Kog Lulu is actually, like, can be played quite as an aggressive lane from, like, level 1, level 2. But here we go, Awakened having a bit of a 1v1 with Bin Laden. It does look like Bin Laden is winning this one. He has the grass procs, but it's not winning him any favors. But, I mean, that is the thing, right? Forsaken in all these trades, because Volibear does not have Grasp of the Undying, and Forsaken does. All it's going to result in is that, you know, if they just keep going for these trades where nothing really happens, every single time, Shen is getting a grass proc out of it, getting that bit of extra permanent health from the grass proc, and Volibear isn't really getting a whole lot. Easy Doctor definitely having to be careful of the potential Emperor's Divide steal, knocking him the ways
here we go.
Of the enemy jungler, but we do have Curatein coming in here on the flank, looking to land that Q. He does land it into the ult. The heal is there from Malix. Is it going to be enough to keep him alive? The flash forward from Azir. Oh, beautiful cancel of the TP from Forsaken is maybe able to let the mid laner of Astra get out alive here. He maybe is going to get out. No, Rakan is going to be there. He's going to go down for sure. The Ignite gets dropped just for good measure from Superman, and that is going to be that. But Iron Sigma having to be careful in the bot lane here. This is why Kog Lulu is able to be played aggressively, because Lulu EW on Kog'Maw with Kog'Maw W in early levels is so much damage. It is very hard to deal with and play into, and not only that is it so much damage, but Kog'Maw with W actually has some absurd range, like Caitlyn levels of range, so really have to be careful about that. Surprised he didn't follow up with a couple of ults there. Ooh, one more will do it, actually.
I forced it back here, unfortunately. Shen is actually in a lot of trouble. 3-on-1 tower dive with the Volibear.
Yeah, he's going to go down for sure. Volibear ult is going to make this all but confirmed. Forsaken getting chased after the flash for good measure, and Bin Laden securing that one for himself in the top side. They do commit quite a lot, though, and they're unfortunately able to give away a couple of plates to this Kog Lulu in the bot lane because of it. Malik's coming down here, maybe looking to get a pick on Ultimate Feeder. We'll see how this happens.
Oh, this is going to be pretty spicy, but he opts to back off here as they prioritize the rifts. So they managed to pick up Drake early and rifts. So Casuarina Gentleman playing their cards right with a 3-on-1 tower dive in the top lane. But this Kog'Maw remains to be untouched, unfortunately. But Casuarina Gentleman playing all their cards right, but they're getting a bit greedy for this Rift Herald. And it's stolen away.
Yeah, Curatein is able to snag that one up nicely. And now we see the members of Casuarina Gentleman retreat into their jungle. Superman getting his well-earned reset. Probably going to pick up his boots here. Now, he might go Mobies. I do think that's probably correct here. No, he actually goes for the Mirror, which I hate to see, personally. So, to anyone who doesn't know about this item here, it is I believe the only things that you get from upgrading the Bendel Glass Mirror from the Amp Tome is 10 ability haste and 50 base mana regen. You don't get any more extra AP from it. So in terms of gold efficiency, it's like one of the worst gold efficient items because it basically only gets 10 ability haste for its combined cost, because you have the mana regen from the Fairy Charm, you have the AP from the Amp Tome, and you just get 10 ability haste for something like 600 gold or whatever the combined cost is. So it's pretty bad. In comparison to getting the other component of, you know, these Moonstone kind of items, that kind of vein of items that all build out of the same thing, the Kindle Gem on the other side is basically 800 raw gold of stats. That's very, very gold efficient. So usually just going for the Amp Tome here. Oh no, this is going to be a big counter gank though. Hold on. Oh, Superman! That damage from Kiratine is disgusting, and they're going to find him nicely. And now Iron Sigma does have to be careful of the dive. He does have Frog Spotter sitting off in the flank potentially to help him out. But
we're going to see what happens if mid is forced to teleport down here.
The
but
Herald
they might
is
just
getting
have to
dropped. It's going to be a lot of gold. I want Ultimate Feeder to make sure he's in range for this. Yes, he is. Yes, lovely. He's going to get a huge, nice little bit of gold.
And he's not CSing too badly, but Cogmore on 85 compared to Iron Sigma's 99 CS. But we're at the 12-minute mark, so it is to be expected. But the fact that he remains untouched the entire lane phase, I thought his CS would be slightly higher, but nevertheless, he's going to scale regardless.
Especially when you do win that 2v2 as well, so it's definitely very, very interesting to see. But ooh, hold on, Chan might have bit off a little more than he can chew. Easy Doctor here. The Emperor's Divide into the second Emperor's Divide. Kiratine does have the Wild Growth on top of him, looking to try and back away, but Frog Spotter is there to cut him off. Does get the ultimate onto Iron Sigma, but it's not going to do much. He's going to go down. Chan going to be sure to follow. Now they're looking for Easy Doctor. No, they decide to back off. Not going to risk the dive.
Yeah, double shuffle trouble right there coming out from both sides. So Silas able to utilize the shuffle slightly better than Easy Doctor. But that's the glory of picking Silas, able to steal whatever you want and make use of it. It's looking pretty good for Casuarina Gentlemen, I gotta say.
Most definitely. Malik's here. Ooh. See, that's one of those situations where you wish you had Emperor's Divide available there, but it is on cooldown. He just kind of went right under tower. And if Easy Doctor had that available to just be able to throw him into the tier 1, tier 2, then that would be very scary stuff for the Silas, but going to live to see another day. And Bin Laden in this top side is really just shoving in these waves, throwing out the E, shoving in these waves, throwing out the E. He's having very little amount of respect for Kiratine. He does have the Tri-Bush warded. We'll see if Kiratine's aware of that. No, he's not. He's going to get spotted out. The ping is going to come through. 3 people in the bot side, though, and they do know that Kiratine is top, so they could just rush this dragon right now, and it does look like that's going to be what they're going for.
Yeah, and that's actually a good move coming out of Casuarina Gentlemen. They're going to be forcing AD Astra to make a decision later on in the game around the 27-minute mark. Will Cogmore have 3 items then? I'm not sure, but definitely a good pickup coming out of Casuarina Gentlemen. The Mountain will definitely help their cause, diving to the backline a little bit more harder.
It's going to be the second dragon of the game. It's very interesting as well, because Vi, normally a jungler that typically can get Dragon by herself at level 4, which not a lot of people know about, but Vi does have the stats and the kit to be able to healthily take Dragon solo at level 4 after, I believe, just 1 recall. You just do your first clear, recall, go bot side, do Dragon. And it's usually super, super early, and if the enemy jungler is clearing bot to top, especially on a full clear, they're usually topside around the time you're doing it, so you can get away with it really, really well. So Kiratine not opting for that, instead opting to have a little bit more gank pressure around the map. It does mean that they are behind in the dragons.
Yeah, first turret going to Ultimate Feeder there, just able to get a nice cheeky 250 gold.
See if this team knows basic macro. If they do, they will be rotating the Cog Lulu to top lane to deal with the Volley Bear. We'll see what they do though.
Easy Doctor opting to go for it. He's going to take a big
see them walk top
here.
Please walk top lane. Don't walk mid lane. Silas has more wave clear than Volley Bear. And you also bully Volley Bear way harder than you bully Silas.
Alright, but unfortunately, Cadius, they're going to mid lane by the looks of things. But it is what it is. It is what it is, but they decided to rotate Easy Doctor.
At least it's better than them going bot lane again. I've seen a couple of teams, they'll take their tower and then they'll go back in the same lane. Oh, but Bin Laden! Easy Doctor with a great Emperor's Divide, but hold on! The jukes are everywhere! What is this? Fancy feet coming out from both players. And Easy Doctor barely escaping with the skin of his teeth. What was that maneuver?
Wow. That was frame picture perfect. And Volibear, can he actually win this trade against Vi? Vi is really strong here.
Vi is very strong with that Divine Sunder. A great save from Rakan though. Might be scary. Kiratine gets hit from the Jinx Rocket and is going to go down. And now Lulu having to run for her life. But Ultimate Feeder in the mid lane. Doing a little bit of bullying.
Wow. That rocket came out of nowhere. Probably did not expect it, Kiratine. And was blowing the ultimate probably mid-animation, unfortunately. And they're looking for another Rift now. This time, Kiratine's not around to take it away, but they could dive this Shen, but they're just hesitating on it.
Oh, really nice plays from Shen. That's going to be a good bit of damage onto Iron Sigma now. Frogsplotter doing his best to get a little bit of peel, get him off her. Does actually pop the Subjugate, I believe, there. Yeah, he does. Malix!
Silas.
That should be a kill! Just kill him! Oh my god!
No, it's not a kill. Unfortunately, they don't quite see what we see, unfortunately, Cadius. So, able to escape there without any worries, and he did have a blue buff as well, so that would have been very helpful for Ultimate Feeder. But,
Ultimate Feeder I've noticed he plays very scared. Plays very scared on this Cogmore. Doesn't play the champion as aggressively as I think he can be played, especially when you have this Wit's End spike, which is terrifying in this champion. I don't know if anyone's played against Cogmore with completed Wit's End Berserker Greaves, especially with a Lulu. The damage is absurd.
And you move a lot faster too with its passive proc as well, so
yeah,
very
definitely.
Scary. Very scary. But they're taking their time with this Rift Herald here, giving Casual Gentleman a time to rotate and potentially react. But a lot of TPs coming down. This might be an actual fight.
Yeah, Malix is looking to TP in here. Easy Doctor forced to back away. They're just going to back off it right away. Malix did steal away the Vi ulti. We'll see what he chooses to do with it. Goes in. Kiratine going to flash back. Jinx is in the back line. We've got another TP coming in here. This one's going to be from the Volibear. Bin Laden coming in nice and hot, but does not look like they're going to get anything out of it. They do find themselves a cheeky bot tower, though.
Yeah, very cheeky. I saw Forsaken go for that Shen taunt, but was just missed Bin Laden, unfortunately. It got
very savvy. Here we go. Volibear going in with the ultimate. They're looking for a pick. Kiratine off in the sidelines, finds himself some damage onto Superman. Malix on the Silas goes forward with the Vi ulti, but pits off a little bit more than he can chew, and he's going to go down. Big, massive Lulu ult knocks up the entire enemy team of Casuarina Gentlemen, and now Forsaken soaking up the damage in the front line with Kiratine. Ultimate Feeder is untouched on this Cogmore, going for a 1v1 with Iron Sigma. Is he going to win it out? No, he pops the barrier, but it's not enough. Iron Sigma taking that away one-on-one, but unfortunately, while that happens, the rest of Casuarina Gentlemen are going to crumble under the teeth of Kiratine and Easy Doctor.
Oh, so Casuarina Gentlemen barely got away with robbery there. Lulu's walking away from the Cogmore, thinking that the Cogmore would win that one-on-one, but Iron Sigma holding on to that ultimate, able to get that kill onto Ultimate Feeder, but overall, I think Casual Gentlemen did get caught out there quite severely, but they did recover quite well. But unfortunately, AD Astra aren't able to capitalize further, only picking up 2 for 1 in that instance.
Yeah, you just have to look at it as Cogmore there and realize that he didn't have W at that point in the fight. It was on cooldown. So all he had was his right clicks, and you have a Wit's End, which isn't going to be reducing any of Jinx's damage. And she has fully completed Kraken Slayer, which is going to be a lot of extra damage on you. If he had W, he definitely would have won that 1v1, but without W there, just because of the item differentials, I definitely think Jinx is going to take that one. Chan getting away with murder once again, barely living.
Yeah, Jinx definitely going for that second item. Can't figure out what it is quite yet, but we'll just see what Iron Sigma actually buys.
Probably going to be either Phantom Dancer or Runans. Most likely Runans, I'd guess.
So the front line of Casual Gentlemen both going for Divine Sunder, and they're hopefully going to be building tank as soon as possible to just try and survive, I guess.
A lot of Divine Sunders in this game for sure. Lulu actually went for Mobies, which is interesting.
That is very interesting. I don't know if I like that or not, but
I definitely don't, but to each their own.
Shirelia's as well.
Shirelia's is the buy. Shirelia's is definitely the buy.
Yeah. I
Shirelia's,
mean, it did get nerfed slightly, but it's still a very good item.
It's just hard for Lulu to proc Moonstone very consistently. That's all. She only really has her Q, because you want to be using your E on allies at this point in the game. So she only really has her Q, and her Q has a pretty long cooldown, so she can't really be damaging people to proc Moonstone all too well. And her shield has a fairly longish cooldown as well, so you can't be proccing that too often. So she's not the best abuser of Moonstone, and you compare that to Shirelia's, where you're just able to put your E on someone and just give them a ton of move speed, especially with your W, so they get even more move speed. You just have people zooming around the place. It's really great. Not only that, but being able to just make your whole team run very fast. It's very good when you're dealing with a Volibear Trundle comp, because you can just kind of run away from them.
Yeah, exactly. And Bin Laden actually a bit of a power spike now, picking up that Sterix gauge. So
definitely.
Hopefully they'll be able to make something happen in the next couple of minutes. But they're looking pretty poised coming out to their fourth dragon. And Vi going for a very aggressive engagement.
Yeah, absolutely going very aggressive here. Gets all the damage. Frog Spotter does pop the Subjugate, but here comes Forsaken with the Stand United. But the Ghost here is just too fast. This is a fast troll, and he's going to get out of there unscathed. Manages to bait out two big key ultimates from the side of AD Astra, both the Stand United and the Assault and Battery from Vi.
Yeah, big cooldowns, especially Shen's. Vi's will be back up probably in the next 80 seconds or so, but Vi being called out here.
Here we go, Frog Spotter is going to be getting a little bit aggressive onto Kiratine here, along with Malix. The Rakan W is there to secure things. That's going to be a nice and easy pick for them. Kiratine goes down, Baron on the board, and it only makes sense for it to be the objective they look for right now, and there it is. They make their move over towards the Baron pit. This one should be pretty free.
They do have vision on it, so maybe Azir can look for a TP on the outer sides of the Baron pit, but it looks like they're just conceding it for free here. Volibear able to take a decent chunk out of this Shen and forced to back off here, unfortunately. That is a lot of damage.
Yeah, absolutely, but Chan comes in here. The Polymorph is available, but I don't think they know how much damage this Volibear can do. Almost one-shots Chan.
He's 1v4.
He's actually 1v4ing them right now, but here we go. Here comes Ultimate Feeder. This is where the damage is, and he is forced to back off. But massive Volibear almost kills 3 members of Ad Astra by himself. I think Lulu very much not respecting the fact that the center of Volibear's ult does like 1,000 damage.
Yeah, and Shen right now just on the back foot, just trying to build whatever armor he can, but just cannot sustain this Volibear damage. So Volibear definitely going for a very suitable purchase with the Giant Spell and more armor. I would like to see a bit of MR coming out, but I guess he really wants to rush that Dead Man's Plate by the look of things. What are your thoughts on that recently changed item? I believe we're on the correct patch for it to be updated. I could be wrong. Dead Man's Plate. That Volibear could be picking up.
Know if I've seen the changes to it exactly.
I think they nerfed the overall movement speed. But before we finish our chat, Silas looking for a very
Malix is definitely going in on Easy Doctor here. Gets the beautiful route. He's able to finish him off here. Kiratine maybe going in. Assault and Battery is used, but he just doesn't have the damage, I don't think, to be able to deal with this. He does have the Divine Sunderer, though, so the DPS is there. Malix lands the Abscond Abduct onto Chan, looking to flash out to safety with his team, and now it's all-out battle. Kog'Maw has arrived with Lulu. Forsaken with a beautiful 3-man taunt. Ultimate Feeder kiting backwards, but Trundle is there to block him off. They are chasing down this Kog'Maw for dear life, but they're not able to get on top of him. The damage is there. Is he going to be able to get some snipes here? Here comes Forsaken and Kiratine. They're still in the fight, but the rest of the team aren't there. The damage from Ultimate Feeder too far away, and they're going to be able to pick off both members of Ad Astra and look towards getting this beautiful Ocean Soul, which is going to be so good for their composition.
Very tasty indeed. So they forced AD Astra to make a decision, and they were taking a fight that they didn't want to take, but were forced to. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. So Casuarina, gentlemen, poised to take this game, taking out the Ocean Drake, the 4th one, and Soul is now on the horizon. We'll just see how much more pressure Casuarina, gentlemen, can put on AD Astra.
Yeah, I mean, Ocean Soul locked in. It's going to look very bad now for AD Astra. Not sure how they're going to really come back from this one. These fights are already playing out quite slow. And, you know, you have these slow played out fights. I think combining that with Ocean Soul, it's just going to be so much damage. You force AD Astra to have to build Grievous Wounds now. Like, you have to build Grievous Wounds, or the healing is just going to be too insane. And that's just going to slow down their items. The only Grievous Wounds they have right now is a measly Bramble Vest on the side of Shen. So definitely I'm going to want to be seeing a bit more of that. Probably a Morellonomicon on Azir, which he does look like he's building now. Ultimate Feeder having to watch out. He's getting dropped very low.
It's let go there very safely. But I like to see a Warbox coming out for at least one of these tanks with Ocean Soul. It's just going to be pretty disgusting. I want to see the regeneration coming out of that combination, which is quite lethal. I've seen it once and it's really, really disgusting to watch. You can pretty much get your full HP back in 8 seconds being out of combat. But overall, Casuarina Gentleman poising to actually threaten, well, the base turrets so far, but they might be setting up Baron here, force AD Astra to actually come out. But in terms of itemization, what are your thoughts on potentially Sylas going for Zhonya's over Cosmic Drive? Do you think that is a better purchase overall for Sylas?
I think it's pretty good in this game because they do have the Assault and Battery on Vi. Just a lot of very, very focused kind of abilities where, you know, if you get Assault and Battery, you can just kind of Zhonya's and negate it. Kiratine, though, maybe cutting off Superman here. The Assault and Battery is there to connect. Polymorph, but he gets the ultimate in time with, I believe, a nice bit of a Nimbus Cloak proc potentially there to get out to safety.
Yeah, he was moving very fast.
So I'm assuming that was
Nimbus
Cloak with the flash and the ult.
It could be Shrelly's as well, but...
No, Shrelly's is off cooldown.
Oh. So, yeah, he was moving pretty quick. Maybe, yeah, Phase Rush was procced. But we can't know for certain.
He has Guardian, so...
Oh, no. He's just going to go down here for free.
Alex, yeah, he's going to get picked off here for sure.
That's a lot of gold.
Unfortunate. Definitely is a big shutdown. See what AD Astra are able to do with it, but I think they're doing a great job of actually just kind of sitting around this Kog'Maw now. I actually am very, very proud of AD Astra, by the way. The Ocean Soul got locked in, and we've just seen Grievous Wounds pop up on the entire team. So that's really, really smart by them, knowing that that's kind of the counter there. But look at Bin Laden right now. Look at the Ocean Soul healing as he's getting chased. Like, his health bar is just going... He's like Mario picking up shrooms right now.
Yeah, just imagine that with Warmogs. Oh my goodness gracious. But a lot of really big cooldowns just to try and pick off Bin Laden here. And he might kill himself accidentally here. But the rest of the team is here, unfortunately.
Is so strong. I think if Kog'Maw's not there, you're just never going to kill that guy. So I'm not sure what Forsaken was really going for. There is a massive wave top, though. It does look like they can probably kill Trundle quite easily. He's going for a very greedy build. He went for Divine Sunder into Blade of the Ruined King. He's just going full damage. I guess he's kind of banking on the fact that he can just throw Subjugate on Shen in fights to get a ton of stats. But, I mean, if you're subjugating Shen, that's going to be kind of bad because then you don't have anything to deal with the Kog'Maw with Wit's End. And I'm assuming he's also going to build Randuin's at some point. I'd like to see him build it after one more damage item. I feel like they need a bit more damage on this Kog'Maw right now.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Probably finish off the Mortar Reminder, I want to say, and then the extra Zeal item there, the extra bit of attack speed and crit from finish Mortar Reminder is probably going to be enough, and then after that go for the Randuin's, and then maybe last item you can look for a Mythic, whether that's going to be probably Gale Force would be what I'd go for in this game, but you could also justify the Kraken Slayer potentially, or even the Shield Bow. Those three are kind of contested on the champion.
Yeah, they're looking for something here. A bit of a misengage coming out of Malix.
Yeah, Malix goes very, very deep, misses the Abscond Abduct onto Chan Chan, and now we see Kiratine going in, but here comes Rakan with the quickness. Malix with another beautiful Abscond Abduct onto Chan Chan, but here comes Kog'Maw. The damage is there. The TP behind, though. Beautiful flank. Flash into the Assault and Battery coming out of Malix. Beautiful use of the stolen ultimate. Easy Doctor getting a great Emperor's Divide, but unfortunately it does not connect onto any of the damage dealers of Casuarina Gentleman, and he's just going to melt through the health bars of Ad Astra. Look at the healing on Iron Sigma from this Ocean Soul right now. That is disgusting. Kiratine, unfortunately, no Grievous Wounds of his own, so in that 1v1, Jinx almost healing the same amount of damage that Kiratine was dealing.
And they're going to close the game here. The second time is too long. Chan only coming up, they cannot stop this destruction happening
This is
to
just
their
kind
Nexus
of
turrets.
the result of what happens when, you have Ocean Soul on a team. Probably the best soul in the game. It's just so oppressive, especially in these comps that are able to play fight slow, which we're seeing happen, and they just kind of stat checked a little bit too hard.
Yeah, they definitely, even though they outdrafted, they got outplayed. So props to Casuarina Gentlemen accelerating that game and forcing mistakes coming out of AD Astra. But overall, that was a result we did not expect, Cadius. But props to Casuarina Gentlemen for taking that game 1 for today.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we are going to throw it over to discussing MVPs for the game. Now, who do we think in regards to the winning team? Casuarina Gentlemen. I mean, there's a lot of people that you could potentially give that one to, but I got to say, Frogspotter, he's the jungler, and that game was kind of won off the back of Ocean Soul. Flawless 6-0 and 8 KDA. Which is, a massive, I believe, 17 KP. No, I can count 14 KP out of 18. So 14 out of 18 kills were with Frogspotter's direct involvement. So massive influence this game on the map. And, he was just able to really get those objectives. He very almost always got away anytime it looked like he was going to get caught out. Went for a greedy build, but managed to make it work into a very scary comp like this. Easy Doctor and Ultimate Feeder. Tons of damage could potentially come out of those champions, and he still went for the damage build anyway. So I gotta say, in my opinion, Frogspotter gets this one, but, up to you. What are your thoughts?
So everyone had a key play or key moment to accelerate this game, but the consistent factor was Frogspotter. So I do kind of agree with you there, Cadius. He was always there to secure objectives, find decent flanks with Pillar, and was just a nuisance the entire time. And especially without taking Flash and made Ghost work, just makes me want to pick him even more for MVP. So I do agree with you there, Cadius, Frogspotter for MVP.
Absolutely. Not only that, but I mean, the 5-man skin buff getting mentioned here for Casuarina Gentlemen just really being the make or break. But, folks, let's talk about the SVP, second most valuable player on the enemy team here for Ad Astra. Who do you reckon took this one away? I gotta say, Kog'Maw, a little bit of a letdown. Chan got hit by a few too many Silas E's. I feel. Keratine kind of ran it. And Forsaken also kind of ran it, so I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure who to give it to.
It's hard just based off, the base stats of the game. I'd say Ultimate Feeder takes the edge out on that one. Well, he was kind of babied and facilitated the whole time. He did get the most damage out, and everyone else just kind of fell a bit flat throughout the entirety of the game. And Kog'Maw was just being his champion's identity, just auto attack and do whatever he could. So I'm a bit confused which to actually pick, but I am leaning towards Feeder here.
All right. Well, I'm happy to agree with that. Ultimate Feeder, probably, most farm, most damage, most gold on the team. So we'll give that one to Ultimate Feeder. So congratulations there. That is going to be, I'll write this down.
So we got Spotter and Feeder taking their respective titles.
Frogspotter.
So maybe Casuarina Gentlemen with the skin buff actually pushes them over the line. Maybe they just need to do it every week, and we'll see how it plays out for them. But congratulations, regardless. It did work out, and they look good doing it.
Definitely was a quick game, but our second game of the night is going to start at 4 o'clock. So I think we're going to throw it over to some music, and we'll see you there. That one is going to be between Jewpies Angels and Corona Spaceship, which have fun with have fun with that one, Corona Spaceship. That's definitely going to be a bit of a roughie. Definitely. But the underdog story, it could be there potentially. We saw that Gods Can Bleed last stream when we saw Destiny get taken down by 4 funds. So it can happen. You never know. You can't count a team out based on just their position on the leaderboard. So definitely, I'm really excited to see this one happen.
Same here.
And make sure to stick around for the whole stream as well, folks, because our final match of the night is going to be Youngbloods versus Jewpies Angels, two top-tier teams in the tournament right now, so definitely going to be really exciting to watch. We'll see how that one goes, but for now, folks, we're going to throw it over to some music. Stick around, because at 4 p.m., it's all going to get underway.
See you soon.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we're about to hop into our Game 5 of Round 5. That's the lucky double number, so you know it's going to be a good one. We've got, in the blue corner for this game, none other than defending NTEL champions, Jewpies Angels. And their competitors that they're going to be clashing head-to-head against is going to be none other than Corona Spaceship, the underdogs in this battle. But, as always, folks, on the casting desk for this game, I'm Jackson Cadius Woodward, and I'm joined here with Chris Strider-Pilling. Welcome back. Chris, how you doing?
Hey. I'm doing pretty good. I'm quite excited to see this matchup early. I mean, how are you feeling about this matchup, Cadius?
Pretty good. I'm definitely, we're about to hop into Champ Select right away.
Oh.
We had a little bit of delays due to a player, his PC shut off randomly, so hopefully that doesn't happen in the middle of the game. Does look like Vayne is going to be ban 1. Why are people so scared of Vayne? I'm so lost. Is this like an in-joke?
Comfort bans, maybe? I know Fleek plays a bit of Vayne, but an MF being banned away from Blade XR by the looks of things, so just a 1-for-1, I guess. That's my guess at this stage, but Nautilus actually banned as well. I guess he doesn't want to be focused down by a Nautilus R, so yeah, it is scary.
Nautilus, Leona, probably the two best engaged supports in the game right now.
Yeah, besides probably Leona, yeah, I'd say Nautilus is right up there. And Fiddle being banned away from Alpha Arcasia, signature Fiddle master, so to speak. Interested to see what else he'll actually play outside of Fiddlesticks. It would be pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Blitzcrank and Malphite are actually really good engaged supports at this kind of level of play.
Yeah, pretty straightforward engages, yeah.
But they're very underutilized. I think Malphite's support is actually quite good. You just bully aggressively pre-6. You just have the point and click Q. It's really annoying poke, and then level 6, Malphite ult into Malphite E. Pretty hard to lose a 2v2. Malphite as support generally falling off as, you know, you head kind of up the ELO ranks, but I think in these lower ELO games, I don't know, Malphite is a pick that we just don't see prioritized a lot, and I think he's just broken. Top jungle, mid support, super good. But Aurelia is going to be the first lock-in, and I did a little bit of OPGG scouting, and Aurelia is Challenge for Jade's main mid champion. So, gonna probably be put in the mid lane this one, but could also be flexed to Riley and Polio. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and right now, on this current patch, Aurelia is 100% busted. Tested it myself. And everyone else around the world seems to think so as well. So her W just blocks way too much, and her scaling is really bonkers. So hopefully we'll be able to see an extended game with Aurelia after a 3-item power spike. You'll be able to see what happens when if we go Shield Bow, Bork into Wit's End and Gwynsos. But that remains to be seen. But Sejuani and Kai'Sa being picked for Corona Spaceship, taking the Kai'Sa away from Blade XR. Did have a bonkers game last game, going 16-0.
Yeah, they are picking that one away. Looks like Lee Sin might be the hover here for Alpha Arcasia. Decides to flex off it. What's he going to pick? Skarna's really good.
Ooh. Yes.
Samira is going to get locked in here for Bledexa. And I got to say, I'm a pretty big fan of the Samira into the Kai'Sa, because you can use the Samira W to block Kai'Sa Q. And
direct counter, I believe. Yeah.
It makes her very, very weak in terms of her all-in potential. You just kind of click that W when she clicks Q, and you are super, super good at just melting her. But other than that, Rumble going to get locked in. Another super, super broken champion at the moment, I feel. Really strong in the mid-top, and even pretty decent in the jungle. But here we go, Leona's getting locked in. This is going to be a really good answer to the Samira. Samira's biggest weakness is just getting CC clicked at her, and they have plenty of that in spades right now on the side of Corona Spaceship.
Yeah, Sejuani for Leona, I can't imagine that lockdown. Oh, that's too much, I think. But they opt to take away Camille here, so they think that Rumble's actually going in the jungle. But of course, it is kind of still viable to pick Rumble in mid and top. So quite a good flex coming out of Jewpies Angels. We'll see what counterband they actually have here.
definitely. Jewpies Angels known for their drafting prowess more so than most other teams. Really good at being able to pick these kind of flexes or, picking the counters as well. They've got Aurelia Rumble, which can flex around the place. They've got Samira, which already very good champion into Kai'Sa. Pretty decent into Leona as well. Samira W is able to get rid of Zenith Blade, but at the same time, it is also very vulnerable to just getting kind of hit with like Solar Flare and like Leona Q and stuff. So not exactly a counter pick, but can definitely play around Leona fairly well if he plays it decently. And obviously the snowball potential of Samira is not to be understated. Very useless champion when behind. Very useless. Does nothing. But when ahead, terrifying.
Oh, your own ban actually coming out there. Okay. But Set being banned here, assuming that Set support is still a dream to memes champion, which he's pretty well known for as well, outside of Prodigium. But just the fact that someone that can deal out true damage from a support position is just quite broken, I believe. But of course, really hard to execute in hindsight. But Cho'Gath actually being hovered here. This is like the tankiest front line I think we've seen out of all the games played so far this season.
Cho'Gath as a mid laner is quite good in my opinion. I think he's good. He's good in the mid, top, and jungle pretty well. I think if you're taking him mid, you definitely want to go for the early Lost chapter into the what's it called? The little rooty, slowy mage item. Frost.
Oh, I can't.
Frost something.
Can't remember what it's called.
That one.
Silas gets right. Yeah.
I'm sure everyone knows exactly the one I'm talking about. But going for that build into like the demonic embrace, like that sort of thing, Zhonya's hourglass, and just kind of going for like a bruiserish AP build, I think that's a lot better in mid. But if you're going in top, I think full tank is a little bit better. But it really just does depend on the matchup and what you want to do. But here we go. Thresh is going to get locked in for a dream to meme. I really like this pick. I don't think that there's any Threshes that are like super competent aside from Prodigium in this tournament, but I mean, I'm happy to be proven wrong here. I don't think I've seen a Dream to Meme on the Thresh before, but if he's able to pilot it well, really good pick here. Flay is able to disjoint Zenith Blade and really, really put a bit of a spanner in what Leona's game plan is. Not only that, but able to peel Jax incredibly well, able to peel Sejuani incredibly well, and the pick potential is there for the squishy Kai'Sa for Samira to blow her up. So really good pick there for Thresh. I think this is a great game for him. Does look like Aurelia's going to go top here with Rumble in the mid lane. Does make a little bit of sense. Jax, very, very good champion at countering Aurelia in general, due to Counter-Strike just being kind of a, like a non-bow to her passive, as well as that. Rumble, really good at dealing with Cho'Gath, obviously. You're going to probably not go for the Harvester build. You're probably going to go for, the Liandry's Torment into the Demonic Embrace. Just go for maximum burn damage. Really shred through the Cho'Gath and the Sejuani. If he does not go Liandry's this game, I will be filing a lawsuit because that is int. Really int.
Yeah. But you can get 5 kills and go for the Troll Harvester. You never know how really Impolio thinks.
Maybe. I hope he builds correctly, but I don't know. I don't know what Challenger for Jade is going to go here though. I mean, I imagine this will probably be more of a Divine Sunder-ish type of game, but what she decides to build, I will have no clue.
Probably Blade of the Ruined King into Wits End into Gwynsos would probably be my guess. Dealing with a lot of
mythic
AP damage.
Is that the Aurelia thing right now? No mythic build?
That's how broken she is at the moment. So the fact that you can dish out so much damage without a mythic item, it's kind of crazy. I kind of tested it myself in a normal game and got 20 kills without building a mythic. So it is definitely a sight to behold once we see Challenger for Jade pull it off essentially against Jax on this hunt. But we'll just see how the jungle matchups go between Trundle and Sejuani, of course. Trundle probably winning later on in the game by quite a fair margin due to Subjugate. But I'm quite interested to see how this bot lane plays out when it hits around the level 2, level 5 mark. Who do you think will actually win this bot lane matchup? Is it going to be Kai'Sa Leona? Is it going to be Thresh Samira?
It's a Thresh lane, dude. Like, it's so hard to tell. The thing about Thresh is he's just such a, the champion can do absolutely everything, or he can do absolutely nothing, and it just comes down to the skill of the pilot. Like, he literally has a kit that can do everything you want a support to do, every single thing, but all of it is like a skill check. Every single ability is like a skill check. He doesn't have any like point and clicks, so you really have to play well. So good Thresh players, I think Thresh Samira definitely wins this lane, but I think Leona has a way lower like skill floor, so I think it just depends on the skill of the two supports.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you there. Just looking at Corona Spaceship's draft right now, they definitely have a slightly lower skill pull-off type composition where it's just pretty much in your face and CC whoever gets caught out, while Jewpies Angels have a slightly harder composition to pull off. They need to set up a few things with the Thresh and the Irelia and then follow up with the Rumble Ultimate and all that. But with the spectator delay counting down, would you like to give a shout out to our majors, Cadius?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's throw it over to our major sponsors. Our major sponsors for this season are the Territory Zone Paul's Iced Coffee, celebrating 60 years here in the Territory.
Ooh.
The Northern Territory government themselves, and the McDonald's Group Darwin, who are responsible for most of the McDonald's in the Darwin and Palmerston area. So big shout outs to all of those folks. Wouldn't be able to do it without you, our lovely prize pool we have here, as well as that, our minor sponsors for this season, all of these great local businesses that you're seeing on your screen right here. A lot of them are pretty staple Territory names, and many of them have been around here in NTEL as sponsors for more than one season, so definitely big shout outs to them. I know I myself went down to Wicked Energy only last week, grabbed myself a bit of G Fuel for a big event that was happening over the weekend. I needed a bit of caffeine and wanted to be able to take a water bottle with me with a bit of G Fuel, and I didn't have any left, so I went in there, and due to being involved in NTEL, I got myself a nice little discount. So just be mindful, folks, if you're involved in NTEL, you can get discounts at all of the places that you see on the screen right now. You just have to let them know, and I believe there's a little bit on the website on how exactly you can get that sorted out. So in the meantime, we are about to hop into our game, so I think we are going to throw it over here. We'll just wait for the game to load up, as right now it is kind of, the lights are on, but nobody's home.
Yeah, and I really like the aggression coming out of both teams. Hunt and Challenger for Jade both taking Ignite in the mid lane, so I'm expecting to see a bit of shenanigans happening with the junglers playing their part, but quite interested to see how this plays out. I'm pretty sure Irelia wins at all stages of the game. The way she scales now is just really broken, so
what is your
hopefully Hunt can figure out how to counteract a build.
Time code at, by the way?
27, 8, 9, 30, 31.
We're pretty much the same. We're good.
All right. Pretty standard starts coming out from all the players, just protecting their jungle entrances, so to speak. But
yeah, definitely.
Quite poised to see how aggressive Jewpies Angels and Bladex are out the gates if they hit that level 2 first compared to Fleek and Thievens on Corona Spaceship. But they're thinking about a delayed invade here, but
yeah, late invade is definitely very powerful. Underutilized tactic, but they decide to opt against it.
Yeah, they don't want to put themselves behind by accident. They are feeling a bit of pressure versing the reigning champions of the next tier scene here in the Territory, being Jewpies Angels and led by their captain Bladex. But we'll be able to see if On Fleek and Corona Spaceship can pull off a potential upset. They definitely drafted for that massive team fight, 5v5 with all those crowd controls and
we are seeing a little bit of cracks in the flexibility of having Challenger for Jade in the mid lane instead of Bladexa. That Irelia pick, I think the matchups definitely were better if you had... no, they actually did decide to do that. Yeah. I was not aware Challenger for Jade and Riley and Polio swapped, but
I guess they did.
I was going to say, like, Rumble into the Jax is going to be way better than Rumble into the Cho'Gath, and in the same way, I think Irelia into Cho'Gath is going to be a lot more pressure early onto the Cho'Gath than having, the Rumble, who doesn't really have the mobility like Irelia does to be able to dodge out of those Qs in the same way. So I'm glad that they've swapped, but at the same time, Riley and Polio not a mid laner by trade, and Challenge for Jade in the same way, not a top laner by trade. So Gonna be interesting to see how this one works, but here we go, the flash forward from the level 2, Bloodexer dashing in, exhaust gets dropped onto Thresh, interestingly enough. That's the wrong target, Fevens. You don't want to be exhausting Thresh, and they do force out the flash heal from On Fleek, as well as the exhaust from Fevens.
A very early error coming out of Fevens, unfortunately. Forced both summoners on Fleek, as you mentioned. So they already have the advantage in this lane, and it's not even been 3 minutes yet.
Yeah, that was definitely disastrous, having to exhaust the wrong target there. Not really sure what happened, might have been just a misclick, maybe a bit of a panic exhaust, but definitely very, very bad when you are exhausting the Thresh, who has just used all his abilities already, so he's not really doing any damage. Whereas you have a Samira who's on your 80 carry and is just getting full damage off. So pretty questionable. William Polio going in here though. Might have been setting up Alpha Arcasia here on the Trundle. A couple more auto attacks will do it. William Polio, there it is. Does get the solo kill nice and beautifully.
A very unusual gank pattern coming out of Alpha Arcasia. Actually punches Hunt quite severely, and Hunt baiting himself for a good trade onto William Polio. So they've done their homework. They know Hunt goes for very aggressive trades, and they punished him severely. And without TP, he's going to miss out on quite a bit of experience and CS as this wave gets shoved under the mid lane turret.
Yeah, I believe Corona Spaceship has actually had a little bit of a roster swap over the season. I remember in their first game, I believe we saw Quopro on the support role and Fevens in the mid lane, I believe. And then I believe it was Hunt in the jungle. I can't remember exactly, but I do think they've had multiple people kind of shift around over the season, making their adjustments. So going to be interesting to see. Ooh. I mean, we mentioned it earlier, right? Like Thresh is all about pilot error. So, you know, that sort of thing can happen.
It can, but Alpha Arcasia managing to get both scuttles in the river, so he's already got quite a substantial experience lead coming out compared to Quopro, which is still level 3, going for a full clear.
Hook does land its way onto Fevens into the double play very nicely. And here we go, Bloodexer going all the way in, looking for a bit of aggression onto On Fleek. And they're just going to win that trade really nicely. Yeah, they do have Alpha Arcasia waiting off in the wings. Could potentially set up a dive here, actually. This is very, very diveable. We'll see what they choose to do. The hook, ooh, barely going to miss its mark on Fevens there. Great attempt. Almost lands. Would have been probably a kill if it did. We do have Quopro here potentially wrapping around.
Yeah, they're going to see if someone backs, and they do bait Sejuani to come in here. Leona flashes in.
Fevens flashing forward, does get the stun onto a Dream to Meme, but here comes Quopro and Hunt. The TP comes through from none other than William Polio. He's going to come down, Hunt in the middle of 3 people, but here comes the Cho'Gath. Pandemonium is next to arrive. This is a lot of damage, 3-man silence. He's got one more hit onto Dream to Meme, will do it, and unfortunately Hunt's going to waste his W on a ward. Oh my goodness, what is happening? Clan Fiesta, Counter-Strike is going to get 2 stuns off, but the damage is not there. He's going to go down, and that's going to be none other than Jewpies Angels, showing why they're on top and coming out with a clean 5 kills to 1.
I really liked what Dream to Meme did there. He baited Jax to go into that bush and quickly went into the other bush, so Hunt gave up the chase almost immediately, realizing he did not have the leap to strike down a Dream to Meme, but all that happened because Leona decided to flash forward with subpar 100 HP, and it wasn't enough, unfortunately.
Thresh of all people.
Yeah, so questionable decision coming out of Fevens there, unfortunately. But Blade Exile on the Samira actually going down. So a 5-for-1 trade, or was it a 4-for-1 trade? Sorry.
I have noticed that William Polio has purchased the Blasting one, so I think he's not going Leandries this game.
He's going Troll Harvester by the looks of it, but we'll see what happens. You never know. Could be another item. But Trundle opting to go for the Tiamat this early, I guess, will definitely help out with his wave clear and remain to be in front of Quopro throughout the entire wave clear in general in terms of the jungle. So very smart buy coming out of Alpha Arcasia.
Polio right now is so strong. Rumble, very, very strong champion.
Oh no.
Lane bling per hours, but I think he's going to be dead here. The equalizer does get dropped. It's a lot of damage onto Hunt, but Sejuani is going to be there. One more auto should do the trick, and there we go. The charge into a couple auto attacks is going to secure the deal. But here we go. Challenge for Jade, maybe going in onto Pandemonium. Full stacks of Ionian Fervor right here. No, it does decide to back off.
the wrong way, unfortunately. Ulted the wrong way. A bit of an error coming out of Challenger for Jade. Could have picked up that kill. Pandemonium did not have flash. So a bit of a misclick there, but it doesn't matter. He might actually pick up the
Yeah,
kill
he might
here.
get the solo kill. Does pop the ignite, actually. WQ, and there it is. Meanwhile, Bladexa literally 1v2 just about, and is putting on the pain with this beautiful Samira pick. I gotta say, Samira is such a fun champion. Probably one of my most enjoyed champions that they've released lately. I think, you know, she's a little bit unhealthy, don't get me wrong. Why they gave an ADC an AoE win wall, I have no clue. But, you know, I like clicking her buttons, and that's what matters.
Well, you know how new champions go when they hit the rift. They definitely.
Oh my god! Have you seen like Akshan or whatever his name is? I'm not looking forward to that. Meanwhile, Thievens is getting hooked up here. That's going to be a kill for sure. Yes, sir. The ignite should do the trick. And there it is. Dream to Meme picking that one up.
Yeah, that champion going to be 100% busted on launch. But that's how you sell a champion. That's just Right's way of doing things. But Cho'Gath opting to go mid lane now, so they opted for a quick swap here, Cadius. I guess Pandemonium doesn't want to versus Irelia anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, this is a good excuse for Aurelian Polio here to build Leandri's Torment.
Yeah, and a quick pen boots coming out of Aurelian Polio as well. So
that's really good, actually.
Wants,
the early pen on Rumble is really, really good because he has a ton of base damage. But he doesn't have the most in terms of AP scalings compared to some other AP champs. He's going to walk into Hunt here, though. The beautiful Cho'Gath knock-up into the counter-strike. He has no flash available. This is going to be an easy pickup for Hunt. And that's going to be a nice little bit of gold for him. And he's just going to go back topside, pick up the wave that he missed. Unfortunately, you know, Rumble, very, very good champion at bullying your laner. But, you know, when you do so, if you're not careful and you're using the flame
that's a nice
spitter,
pillar.
Oh, you're a little bit ahead of me there, but that is a nice pillar.
Oh, yeah,
Hunt gonna pick up a counter-strike. Might be able to just walk out of this one. We'll see. The Subjugate is going to be there from Alpha Arcasia. Hunt running for his life. The stun connects, though, and that is going to be left, right, good night, and he's going to get taken down.
So we'll do a quick timer check.
Just fast forward a little bit. I'm at 9:26, 9:27, 9:28, 9:29, 9:30.
Maybe fast forward another 2 seconds, and we'll be on time.
9:35, 9:36,
Yep.
9:37. Cool.
Yep, we're on time. But yeah, a bit of synergy issues there in terms of the client, so we do apologize for that. But now we're back in sync, and Sejuani gets out there.
We're sliding over the wall, smooth criminal.
Getting
out nice and safely.
So unfortunately, Cronus Spaceship are only able to punish really and Polio with not having flash, and that's what it takes because Rumble doesn't have flash, obviously, so they punish him accordingly. But they managed to pick up the Cloud Drake without us noticing Cadius. So quick Cloud Drake going onto the side of Jewpies Angels.
Yeah, most definitely. And now it does look like a Dream to Meme landing a beautiful hook there. Unfortunately, it is on the Leona. There's a tanky boy. Alpha Arcasia and Aurelian Polio looking to get in a bit of a 2v2 tussle with Pandemonium and Quopro here. The battle for the Rift Herald has ensued. Alpha Arcasia is going to get stunned up, and here comes Hunt. Great little bit of Sejuani ultimate onto Aurelian Polio. 3-man equalizer, and here comes Challenge for Jade. Oh my goodness, the ultimate, it's massive. He has the Q resets, but the slow, just buying enough time to get them out to safety. That could have nearly been very disastrous, but they get out with their lives.
So, well done for Cronus Spaceship winning that trade, actually, and getting the Rift as well. So, they come out on top in that instance, and hopefully they'll be able to put the Rift to good use.
I'm not sure who got the Rift Heralds.
I wasn't sure. I didn't quite see it, actually.
It doesn't say on my UI who got the Rift Herald, which is interesting.
We'll just see who looks a bit purpley, but it looks like Sejuani looks a bit purpley to me. So, might be holding the Rift there, potentially. But we'll just have to see how it goes. But a lot of plates going on the side of Challenger for Jade, really looking to threaten that first turret bonus gold, so to speak. But Hunt is able to stop that from happening. And Drake coming up very shortly as well. But it has come to a 2.5 to 3k gold lead coming out of Jewpies Angels. And the first items coming out for Challenger for Jade, like I said, was Blade of the Ruin King, just dealing with those tanky frontline members and that extra auto attack speed as well. It is a very comfortable item and first purchase for Irelia as a champion.
Oh, nice little steal from Alpha Arcasia there. They're looking for Thievens here. Beautiful play. He's going to go for the hook. Predicts it over the wall. Lands it onto Thievens, completely blind. And that's going to be a kill going over to Bladexa, his third one of the game.
Textbook right there from Dream to Meme. Wonderfully
Beautiful
executed.
hook from a Dream to Meme is able to secure that one for the side of Jewpies Angels. And that's going to give them Infernal Dragon as well.
Yeah, so they're trying to accelerate this game even faster, and with Blade XR with 3 kills with Shield Bow. Oh, forced the flash!
148 AD, and that is going to go... don't think I caught it early enough, but good little bit of AD there, probably for Bloodexer in the AD carry role, just over his laner here. Pretty even across the board, at least it was before he picked up that kill. Only boots ahead, but
here we
Polio is so dead here. There's no way he gets out of this alive. Does pop the equalizer. Tries to do a bit of damage, but no, unfortunately is going to go down. Feven's actually getting a little bit too greedy, maybe, sticking around under the tower with 3 members around, and he's going to get dove and taken out as well. So they do trade it 1-for-1, at least.
It's a good thing because Rumble had a decent lead, and even though he's dying more than he should, he still does the damage in these team fights, but Samira on Blade XO, or Blade XO on Samira is being accelerated quite a bit. And Hunt looking for an aggressive engage.
Hunt's being very aggressive. Oh no, you just needed to auto-attack once, dude!
That's how awesome this champion is.
You just needed to auto-attack her once. Why did you walk
He thought
away?
it was enough. He thought it was enough.
Hunt
a bit
unfortunately has a little bit of a Windows Explorer reaction time, and
oh, that's a bit sad to see, but he thought about it.
That's going to be a kill for sure on Fleek, just dropping the abilities there. No, actually a great, nice little solar flare. Might buy him a bit of time. Bloodexer looking to get the ultimate damage onto Fevens, but Fleek does get out with his life, as well as Fevens by the looks of things, so well played to them. The TP does come through actually from Cho'Gath. This is an interesting one. He doesn't have any backup here. He's just going to go in 1v3.
And miscommunication coming out, definitely. Hopefully his feast is enough, but he opts to walk away and die slowly. Yeah. So a key teleport being wasted by Pandemonium. Maybe just a misclick, I would like to hope. But first tower definitely going in the hands of Blade XR. They're going to give the solo gold to him as well, which is what I'd like to see. And he's going to buy his second item, potentially, depending on how much gold he has.
Yeah,
he's a rich boy at the moment.
He's going to be very, very fed in this game. He's about to pick up probably defensive boots here. I would imagine it's going to be Mercury Treads. More than likely is going to be the pickup. Yep, there it is, Mercury Treads. And the most of his components of his collector as well. So, very fed boy.
Yeah, 15 minutes and you have those items. It's very scary. And these tanks even had a chance to build items yet. So they're still waiting to build, well, besides Quopro on the Sunfire Cape. But that's not going to be enough for sure. But challenger for Jade, actually looking for a Wit's End second item by the looks of things. But I would like to see it a bit sooner. But I guess Blade of the Ruin King is a very expensive item. But a 2-on-2 happening here in the top lane.
Polio goes in, drops the equalizer onto Quopro. The challenge for Jade, health is not enough to withstand the relentless onslaught of DPS. Rillian Polio is going to be able to sneak that kill onto the Sejuani and try to run away from Hunt now. And he does back off very intelligently as he does see Bloodexer and a Dream to Meme running up towards him. So they do just back off, trade that 1-for-1. I believe that's kind of worth, actually. Challenge for Jade sitting on a bit of a shutdown at the time, I do believe. And they only got a return kill onto Quopro, which definitely not in the same boat.
Yeah, they got a bonus 150 gold for that shutdown. So definitely worth for Hunt picking that one up. He is 5-5 at the moment, but as long as this Jack scales, he'll get the job done. So that will be remain to be seen. But the gold lead is definitely ballooning, nearly 6k at the moment, and 14-7 in the hands of Jewpies Angels. This game is in their hands to solidify and take. Hopefully they'll be able to take the third Drake so they can force Corona Spaceship to respond. Because right now they're just trying to turtle full items as much as possible, but Jewpies aren't having it. And a bit of a court catch out by Trundle here.
Alpha Acacia definitely going to be dropping very, very low here. Rillian Polio, and here comes none other than Challenge for Jade with a beautiful ultimate, and he is going to do wonders at melting through the health bars of our very own Corona Spaceship here. And on Fleek, you know, he is the last Pringle in the bottom of the can, it looks like. And they're trying to reach after him. Finally, they've claimed their prize.
Right now, they're just accelerating this game so quick. They don't want any chance for them to scale whatsoever with this front line and with Jax. is just a bit daunting to really think about. But they're going to pick up this Drake as well.
There's a lot of damage on the challenge for Jade. He does get the Lantern out to safety, and they're going to turn this one around, actually. Hunt goes down. The Bloodexa damage is absurd right now. He does have the Samira ultimate. They do have to watch out for that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Hunt doesn't have any armor whatsoever, so the base ultimate is just not enough to block everything.
Polio has the equalizer coming up soon, but they're not even going to need it. Fevens, the damage is absurd.
Wow.
That's going to be another hook. He goes in. I think that was a little bit greedy. A Dream Team's going to go down. But here we go. Inferno trigger from Bloodexa. He gets 1. He gets 2. Equalizer. Going to be able to grab 3. And they come out ahead, trading 2 for 5 in a beautiful team fight.
I just saw how much Bloodexa was worth, and he was worth 900 gold, and it went to Pandemonium, unfortunately. But nevertheless, they did get the shutdown. A 2 for 3 trade under the turret. So Corona Spaceship still showing signs of life, but Jewpies is poising to take this one out in a rather quick fashion as they pick up the 3rd Drake and empty out Corona Spaceship's jungle.
Yeah, Fevens just 0-6-0 on this Leona. Has literally just done basically nothing this game, unfortunately. And, you know, when you're in a situation like this where you're playing Leona, who really, the champion can only really go in. That's all they can really do. They can't fill a lot of other roles very well. You know, it really does kind of pigeonhole you into not being able to do much because, you know, when you're in a position where your team can't go in and you can't make the engages and you're forced to play like kind of reactively, Leona's really bad at that, and that's kind of her weakness as a champion. So hopefully we'll see how things go here, but it's going to be very, very scary for the side of Corona Spaceship to claw their way back into this one. Samira does have the Collector completed now, which means that Inferno trigger is going to execute when the members of Corona Spaceship do drop below that execute threshold.
And it's definitely going to be spelling trouble for Corona Spaceship and giving red to Rumble out of everyone. No, it's going to go to Bloodexa as it should. But 22-9 now, definitely looking rough. It's 9k gold league going to balloon to 10 very soon. Baron coming up in a moment, but I'm not sure Jewpies will be willing to take that risk as they're a more calculated team. But at the same time, they do like to finish games quickly. But Irelia holding the Rift now. They might be looking to drop it and do the Baron. We'll just see what happens in the next couple of minutes. And Blue going towards Alpha Arcadia here. And he has gotten away with the Divine Sundreal tier map build. And we did see it last game. If able to execute it perfectly, Trundle damage with his Subjugate ultimate is a force to be reckoned with, but if not executed correctly, you do fall behind rather quickly. But they're going to take a 20-minute Baron here with 2 people, and Rumble nearly gets caught out. Does not get caught out there, unfortunately. And they're going to take this Baron for free.
Yeah, they are able to snag that one away nicely.
Yeah, just in a moment's notice, but Corona Spaceship still poising to go in, but deciding not to. That's just what happens when the other team's wallet is just that big. They're just afraid to go in at all to make a mistake.
Oh, but this is going to be a big fight. Equalizer does catch on fleek in the backside. Rillian Polio looking to drop the pain. Massive flank from Rillian Polio, and Pandemonium, he's holding off the front line, but not for long. He goes down. Fevens is going to be next. Massive Inferno trigger to finish off the last 2 here from Bloodexa, and that is going to be lights out for the entire enemy team of none other than Corona Spaceship. Jewpies Angels coming up huge. The Baron buff is there, and they're looking to close this one out in a timely 21 minutes.
And they're going to try and do it with Shelly here, Cadius. I wonder if they have the time to pull this off, essentially.
No, they definitely do. This looks like it's going to be GG with none other than Rift Herald backing them up on these Nexus towers. Should be nicely, and it's going to go down. Boom. They take out the second one here as well.
Ooh.
And now we have Rift Herald to charge it down onto the Nexus. GG, and well played to our very own Jewpies Angels, defending champions, showing why they are just that.
Yeah, exactly. They're reigning champs for a reason. They're just able to play so calculated and control the map from the very get-go. Ever since they forced the summoners from bot lane, just Bloodexa was able to accelerate that lane even faster. So now we're going to go towards MVP and SVP. What are your thoughts, Cadius, on MVP for this game?
It's hard to say, really. I think MVP
They all did very well, all of them. Probably eliminate Rumble just because you get caught out a little bit. So the remaining four, I'm still trying to give my thoughts on it.
Yeah, definitely Bladexa
Mm,
played very well, but I think a Dream to Meme landed a lot of hooks in that game. Really well played to him.
mm, mm.
Challenge for Jade also played really well. Very, very, very fed on that. Aurelia. Alpha Arcasia was kind of just a subjugate button, but,
Yeah,
that's all you really have to be on that champion
yeah,
a lot of the time. But I think a Dream to Meme definitely, like, Thresh, not an easy champion to play well, and he just kind of picked it up and, really, really showed off on it. So,
yeah.
not only that, landed a lot of really star hooks that secured kills that wouldn't have otherwise been picked up, and got Bladexa ahead in a matchup that really mattered.
Yeah. And he gets my respect for taking that hook under turret with a little bit of HP and gets a three-man play, tries to flash out, but dies. But regardless, he is the playmaker in that bot lane, that's for sure. And just shout out to Rumble, even though he did get caught out a little bit, he did land some pretty good ultimates in those deciding team fights, so to speak. So I'm kind of leaning towards Dream to Meme, like you said, Cadius.
Absolutely. All right. Well,
Mm.
that looks like it's going to be a Dream to Meme taking out the beautiful
Mm.
win there. So
The
congratulations to
MVP.
him.
Hmm.
And if we have a look at our SVP, what are your thoughts there?
Oh, it's a bit tough, but I think Hunt stands out the most here. Unfortunately, QuoPro did whiff a few Sejuani ultimates, and Cho did have a interesting TP, as the chat would say. And Leona just wasn't able to get anything done. The same with Fleek; they were just suffocated from the very get-go. So I think I'm kind of leaning towards Hunt.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he
Yeah.
did run it a little bit, but at the same time, you are playing Jax into a very fed Rumble. Not an easy matchup at all. And
Mm.
not only that, I think he just kind of probably did the most, I would say. I think QuoPro did play
Mm.
quite well though. Big shout outs
Yeah,
to
yeah.
him. He was definitely did have the better KDA there, and he
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
playing into a Trundle, who's a really rough matchup for Sejuani. Sejuani
Yep.
in general, just kind of not one of the stronger tank junglers at the moment, but was still able to put up a nice, impressive performance. Was the reason that Challenge for Jade has one death to her name there in the mid lane. And not only that, but was able to counter gank in the top side and help out the team quite a lot. So I'd be willing to give it to QuoPro or Hunt. But I mean, if you're leaning towards Hunt, then I suppose that is going to be the tiebreaker there.
Hmm.
So happy to
Okay.
give it away to him.
Yep, sure.
Now, folks, now that that's out of the way, we are going to probably throw it over to some music. We've got our final game, which is going to be the big one between
Ooh,
the
big one.
Youngbloods and Jewpies Angels, who you just saw. So, Jewpies Angels, they got a little bit of steam in their tank. How do you think this one's going to go, Strider?
Youngbloods did have a rough time last week versus Destiny, and hopefully they've recovered to give Jewpies a run for their money. So hopefully they've done their research and they're able to get Jewpies on the back foot early, but that's all going to be dependent on how they execute the first 10 minutes of the game. But if not, I think Jewpies is going to take this one quite comfortably, but we'll see what happens. Youngbloods, a staple team in the territory. They can get things done. That's why they're one of the top teams at the moment.
Absolutely, folks. Well, let's throw it over some music, and we'll see you all in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Welcome back, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, listening in the Northern Territory. We're about to hop into our final game, Game 6 of Round 5 of your 2021 NTEL League of Legends season. It's going to be between, on the blue side, Youngbloods, previously undefeated until just last Thursday, where they managed to lose a game to Team Destiny, who were hungry for vindication after getting their win streak ended by underdog Team 4 Fun. And now they're back, facing down against another top team. It's going to be our previous NTEL season champions, Jewpies Angels, on the red side. Definitely going to be interesting to see who takes this one out, folks. But my name is Jackson Cadius Woodward. I'm joined here on the cast desk by Chris Striderpilling once again. Chris, you there?
Yes, I am. Thanks for having me, Cadius.
Not a problem. Now we're about to hop into this game. Now, what are your thoughts between these two teams?
Well, they are long-standing rivals, and I'm sure they'll let certain players play certain champions, but that remains to be seen. But Jewpies is definitely the favorite here, but Youngbloods always come out swinging. So I'm quite excited for this game. It could honestly go either way. We'll just see how it actually starts out.
Yeah, we're about to hop into Champ Select any second now, and
there we go.
There it is. We're into Champ Select, so let's throw it over here. Youngbloods versus Jewpies Angels. Now, for the draft here, I'm not sure what exactly we're going to be seeing. All I do know is that the first ban here is likely going to be Zoe from Jewpies Angels.
Yeah.
And there it is.
There it is. So Challenger for Jade does not want anything to do with that champion. And Samira and Ziggs taken away by Youngbloods. So yeah, they are quite fearful.
Ziggs extremely broken at the moment. Samira not that broken, but Bledexa, good showing on the champion last game. So maybe just a bit of a respect ban there.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to draft a composition, and Samira seems to be a decent counter to that with her kit. But yeah, Ziggs did get slightly nerfed with his mana pool. Did they get nerfed to 420? But still a very strong, potent champion with satchel charge regardless. And Vayne been taken away as well. It seems to be a common trend, Cadius, that Vayne gets taken
as
out.
well. Aurelia getting taken away this game. So really going to be stretching challenge for Jade's pockets here. Aurelia, basically the only mid laner he's played in his match history, and we saw him play it last game, so he's going to have to stretch a little bit deeper into those pockets and see what he can pull out here. Maybe he'll pull out the signature Yi once again.
He could play AP Malphite for all we know, but we'll actually see what happens. And they take away Fiddlesticks from Alpha Arcasia.
I do like to see that one. Definitely great, taking away Alpha Arcasia's Fiddlesticks, but at the same time, you know, he's going to be a player who probably knows how to play into his own champion fairly well. So we'll see what he decides to do with that. Now, Viego getting hovered here.
Ooh,
very strong champion.
And his biggest strength is his flexibility. Top, jungle, mid, he can be played. More so in the jungle, but Viego being one of the stronger champions for this current patch and being taken away by Jewpies. We'll just see what they kind of give away. Picking very shortly. I'm hoping to see their support being picked here, but we'll just see how they play it out. Being played XR in the AD carry role, maybe likes to prioritize the bot lane a bit more. But MF, they let it through.
And they're going to pick up Misfortune here. Good champion for sure. Very good AD carry.
Just looking at Blade XR, he has a 90% win rate on that champion. So he definitely knows how to play Misfortune. Not that she's hard, just being that proficient with a 90% win rate is actually pretty good in itself.
Yeah, Kaiser has a pretty miserable matchup into MF. If they actually pick this in response, that's going to be interesting. No, they do go for it. Okay.
Okay, so maybe it's just a comfort pick coming out, but I'd say MF wins that 9 out of 10 times. And Shen being picked up, pretty standard top laner coming out for, or even support, we'll have to see. He can be flexed a little bit.
Definitely can't count out the fact that it can be flex support. Can even be flex jungle occasionally.
Yeah, we have seen the Shen jungle. I believe TSM pulled it out a while back, but we haven't seen it since, I believe. So most likely in the top lane, but we'll just see what happens. And they take Rumble in as well. So Jewpies with their drafting prowess, not actually giving anything away except for the Misfortune picks. So pretty good overall.
It definitely is very good team at drafting. We're going to see what the second phase bans are here, likely at the mid laner. Right here, they've taken away the Zoe, and no mid laner yet to be picked, so probably just going to pick up anything that does prove a problem to their solo laners here, Viego and Rumble, more than likely. No, they do take away Leona. I mean, that does make a lot of sense. Misfortune, pretty squishy champion, immobile as well, and Leona's CC does add the passive stacks of Kai'Sa, so very, very crazy burst numbers you can pull out from a Leona all-in with a Kai'Sa, so fairly smart ban there, taking that one away. They do take away Galio here, which makes a little bit of sense, as they do have Fiddlesticks already on the board. Galio, very good champion at just kind of being able to deal with some of those Fiddlesticks engages.
So they're taking away all the engaged supports coming out of Youngbloods, so it only leaves 2 left, I believe. You could play Blitz or Thresh.
Available. This is right now. If they're scared of engage, it probably means that they don't want to see an engage support. But they do have Shen locked in, so I would actually like to see the Shen potentially flex down to support. Would make a lot of sense here into the Misfortune, and he doesn't have a very good matchup into both Viego and Rumble. So. It does make sense, and then you can draft something that does have a good matchup into those champions. If you're talking about Rumble, Rumble struggles a lot against those kind of very heavy, kind of more juggernaut type champions. Darius, Mordekaiser sort of give him a bit of a hard time. Trundle getting locked in here as well only adds to the emphasis of that Shen topside, maybe having a little bit of a struggle of a matchup, but that does show that it's likely going to be Viego, not in a solo lane. That's probably going to be, unless it's Trundle jungle again, but that does show their top jungle and mid, which means support is the only pick yet to be hovered. They do lock in Nocturne, and it does look like Blitzcrank is looking to be picked up here, which means we probably will see Morgana here if they're intelligent.
Yeah, it's a pretty good comp as well, Morgana with Misfortune.
I'm not sure why you would pick this with Morgana up. It seems like the no-brainer counter pick. We'll see what they go for here, but Morgana, absolutely really, really good into Shen, Fiddlesticks, Nocturne, and Blitzcrank. Very oppressive.
They might flex set here. We'll just see how it goes. But no, that's a Trundle support.
That is going to be a Trundle support by the looks of things. So that does mean that is going to be Rumble in the jungle.
Okay, so displacing Blitz hooks with Pillar is actually something that's not really known, but it does happen. but it's really hard to pull off. But hopefully we'll be able to see it this game, but pretty standard mid laner coming out for Challenger for Jay, picking the Orianna into Nocturne, so he shouldn't have much trouble there if he goes for the phase rush, so he can get out of that. But
it's gonna be
Rumble into Fiddle.
Orianna still definitely has to be careful against the Nocturne, but I am a little bit confused why Morgana was not picked in this comp. Morgana would be disgusting right here. Like, Morgana would actually be like basically a GG pick, I want to say. Like, very oppressive.
It pretty much counters their whole composition just about with the Black Shield and the disengage engage. Just her overall kit just screams pick me, but they didn't pick it. They just felt confident in the Trundle. I guess they wanted a bit more frontline maybe, but support Trundle is going to be a bit hard to get going. Maybe he's just going to absorb hooks the entire time, who knows. But what are your thoughts on Youngblood's draft compared to Jewpies draft? I think Youngbloods did okay in this instance. Besides that last pick.
I think their 5v5 is very interesting. I think Blitzcrank is going to have a rough game here because you don't really want to be hooking Rumble, Orianna, or Trundle into your team late game. That's pretty bad. Viego and Misfortune are okay hook targets, but I mean, Viego is likely going to be running around invisible, and Misfortune is likely going to be sitting behind the other three members I just mentioned. But you know, you hook Rumble into your team, you're asking for him to just throw out an Equalizer, Flame Spitter, Zhonya's. You hook Trundle in, he's just going to subjugate whoever's tanky and probably not die. And then, of course, you hook Orianna, she's just going to click R and Zhonya's and is just going to shockwave your whole team. So, very scary. I don't know if Blitzcrank is good here, but, you know, and it also added the very scary factor of it opens up Morgana as a massive counter pick, but I mean, that didn't get punished, so I don't know. We'll see. What are your thoughts on the drafts?
I think Youngbloods had a chance to draft Malphite support, but they missed that opportunity. They went for the Blitz, but it would have been really good to actually see it, as you touched on it before. Malphite, an underrated champion that's not really utilized and is pretty basic to pull off, but I feel like Jewpies outdrafted Youngbloods. As soon as they locked in that Blitzcrank, had a chance with the Morgana, but Kai'Sa picked into Misfortune, questionable, but sometimes it does come down to mechanics, but how can you out-mechanic a Misfortune unless she's heavily dived? Nocturne, Fiddle, Shen, decent combo, that's for sure, but Blitz and Kai'Sa not really fitting into the current composition that they were going for, so I kind of favor Jewpies draft here. But we should really give a shout out to our major sponsors, Cadius.
Yeah, we can give a quick shout outs to the sponsors. Our major sponsors for this season are on your screen right now. The Territory's own Paul's Iced Coffee, celebrating 60 years here in the Territory. The Northern Territory government themselves, as well as McDonald's Group Darwin, who are responsible for the majority of McDonald's stores in the Darwin and Palmerston area. These fellas on your screen right here are the big names responsible for our lovely prize pool, the players before you are battling it out to get in their nice pockets. And it's definitely one of the biggest prize pools we've had in NTEL history. So big shout outs to them. Really, really awesome to be able to have a competition of this caliber. And at the same time, quickly before we hop into game, having a quick look at our minor sponsors as well. We've got a slew of local businesses here. Ooh. Every single business on your screen right now is a great local business who you can get some lovely discounts at if you are a NTEL competitor in not just League of Legends, but any game, any of the fighting games, Rocket League, you name it. So make sure to head over to the Next Tier Esports and Gaming website, and there's a little page that tells you exactly all the details on that, I do believe, on how you can claim your rewards for being a NTEL competitor at our sponsors. So make sure to check that one out, folks. And as well as that, get nice and active in the chat. I've been looking through the chat in between games, making sure to copy down any names that are popping up more than once and putting them onto a list. And then at the end of our third game, we're going to be doing a bit of a spin, and one lucky member from the chat is going to get one of the prizes on the wheel. So definitely do get nice and active in there, be nice and verbal. And now that that's out of the way, folks, let's hop right into our third and final game of the night and our sixth game of round 5 of your 2021 NTEL season.
Yeah, and pretty interesting start coming out of Youngbloods here. They do have a couple of pings while Jewpies are just protecting all entrances. This is what I want to see coming out of Youngbloods. I want them to be proactive, go for a delayed invade, and hopefully catch someone off guard that is not looking. But we'll just see how it actually goes, and they're going to go for it, Katie. So it's going to be interesting to see. Oh!
Ooh, Fast Runner goes for the flash hook, but is going to go a little bit wide, unfortunately.
Yeah, forced to blow the flash. So Blade XR slightly vulnerable early on. First 5 minutes is going to be a bit challenging for him, but he does have PTA, so I'm sure laning phase is going to be pretty good for him regardless. But challenger for Jade taking the phase rush as standard against a Nocturne, able to try and get out of that fear and Q combo coming out of Dark Knight, and Dark Harvest being taken by Alpha Arcadia and Nick Chu on their respective champions, as they just want to deal tons and tons of damage. But what are your thoughts on the Shen Viego matchup in the top lane, KDS? I think it's slightly Viego favored.
Shen definitely bullies him early, but Viego, once he starts getting that Divine Sunderer, Blade of the Ruin King combo going, it is a little bit too much healing for Shen to deal with, and the percent health damage is just kind of absurd. So at that point, he kind of starts winning the matchup pretty heavily. But Shen definitely, it's all in his pocket here to bully this one nice and early.
Yep, and I want to see challenges for Jade for actually bullying Dark Knight level 1. Try to get him down to at least 2/3 HP. Right now, he's definitely 100% vulnerable early on, but his passive healing did get nerfed a little bit for Nocturne, but still heals regardless, and a very heavy trade coming out of Brilliant Polio.
Is just ripping these. And I mean, that's the thing about Blitzcrank, right? You can pick the champion, but if you don't land the hooks, he's not a champion.
Yep, he's a giant minion walking around. Trying to set up a bit of a freeze here, but unsuccessful coming out of Dark Knight. Just not able to do it with his passive, and Orianna humbugging him. But a very early push coming out of Django here, but Alpha Arcadia opting for a different jungle route to prioritize bot lane and scuttle on that side of the map. But I feel like this is going to be a slightly slow game coming out until we hit around the level 6 mark, but I could be wrong as Nocturne goes for
Nocturne going in here. This is exactly what the champion excels at. It's these big trades, and he's going to do lots of damage there. Beautiful spell shield as well, actually. And Nocturne is going to use that passive to heal up. That's one thing that is underrated about Nocturne in lane, is his sustain is just so gross with that passive.
It is, but at the same time, we have to be a bit critical. Dark Knight definitely needs the CS here. He's already fallen behind by quite a bit, and it doesn't matter how much you trade. If you don't get that CS going, it's going to be pretty hard for you to come back. Oh.
All right,
here
potentially. Yeah, Fast Runner landing a hook there. Gator, big damage onto Blidexa here. He's going to unfortunately go down. Here comes Alpha Arcadia, though. They might be able to turn this around. 1v2 potentially from... No, they're just gonna get the kill.
Oh no!
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Why'd you greed?
So that's a little bit unfortunate. It was looking really good for Youngbloods for a second, but then now not so great. Brilliant Polio now doing a little bit of bullying to Django. He might actually be able to grab a kill here potentially. No, he does have the dash, the shadow dash.
Yeah.
To get out there to safety.
And if Viego pushes this right, he'll force his TP really quickly. But Blade XR being caught out by a fast-running hook, so he's fallen down there, but they trade another kill back regardless. So that's how you punish Youngbloods, doing textbook punishment on Blade XR, forcing him to die there, unfortunately. But the fact that they already have a 1k gold lead is a bit worrying to me, KDS, that the fact they can just do this based off lane fundamentals and just CSing in general.
Yeah, big lead on basically top and mid and even 80 carry right now. They're just 10 CS up across the board, which is basically almost a full kill on all 3 of your main farming roles. So it's just going to be really, really bad, especially when a few of them are up an actual kill as well, such as the mid and jungle. So definitely they do want to start CSing a little bit better, and that is just kind of a player gap thing. There's nothing you can really do about that, but
yeah,
I mean, at the same time, you know, a lot of champions on their team are able to just kind of randomly find kills, like the Blitzcrank, like the Nocturne. So, going to be interested to see how these lanes end up turning out. But right now, definitely, it is looking a little bit sketch.
All right, so a bit of a gap here. BladeX does not have his flash just
does get
yet,
hit by a nice little knockup from Fastrunner. He still has the hook available. He's going to look for it, and there it is. And BladeX is going to get caught again. A little bit of a feed coming from BladeX, something we're not used to seeing, but here we go. It's going to be a 3v3 in the bot lane. A Dream to Meme does have the Orianna Orb on him. He's running forward. Nick Chu getting caught out in the alcove, looking to get a drain off here, survive as long as he can. That's going to be a lot of damage onto a Dream to Meme. He's dropping very low, but no one else is there to help out. Gator getting hit by the shockwave as well. He's going to go down, and that's going to be a nice little double pickup for Jewpies Angels in the bot lane.
It was a bait all this time by BladeX, just baiting them in, and now Nick Chu unfortunately falls there. And they just balloon this gold lead even more.
Polio is level 6. He pops the ultimate, but the flash is there. Now he's forced to back away. Django should actually have a kill here when his Shadow Dash comes up. It's coming up in 2 seconds.
He's not going to pull it off. He's a bit scared.
He's a bit scared of the minion wave, which is fair. It is a very sizable minion wave he's got there. Really, Polio going to be able to get the recall there. Does look like Jewpies Angels looking towards the Dragon Pit right now.
Yep. And they're going to secure Scuttle here, and they're going to try and set up Vision. They know Nick Chu is only level 5 still, so they might look for a cheeky one there. But BladeXR finally does have Flash up, and we'll see if Django actually takes this trade. It would be relatively close if he takes this now. And opts to Shadow Dash the other way. So...
yeah, interesting that Rilliam Polio is going for the Divine Sunderer first in this matchup and not the Blade of the Ruined King into the Divine Sunderer second, which is definitely something I think is more typical. But I could also see what he's doing working out, considering you're probably not going to get long trades with the Blade of the Ruined King happening. Bit of a...
that pillar.
Bit of a fail there, but that was a beautiful pillar from Dream to Meme, locking Gator into his demise. Paranoia was used top lane, but unfortunately Rilliam Polio was just not in the lane, so that's going to be a bit of a waste, and they are going to go down in the bot lane as a result.
So unfortunately what Nick Chu is doing here, he's trying to have presence in lane, and he's falling behind in jungle camps in general. Even though this rumble is accelerated, he should be really trying to farm up as fast as possible here just to get that level 6 power spike. And now Jewpies Angels are in a position to take a free dragon. And we'll just see if they actually do that. And they do. There we go. First dragon going to the Jewpies Angels. And just this lead is already starting to balloon. 2.3k gold at 8 minutes just based off lane dominance and taking those potential picks with baits coming out of BladeXR. We're not used to seeing BladeXR with this kind of KDA KDs. It's a bit of a
a little bit of
a weird feeling.
Feeder, a little bit of a noob. What can I say? BladeXR definitely weighing down Youngbloods. But I mean, we'll see how things go. Gator, you know, does have more deaths actually than BladeXR himself, but these hooks actually, Fastrunner playing really well. Fastrunner is really kind of enabling Gator.
Yeah, he did miss the first few, but he did land all the other successful ones after that. But they're really pushed up at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if something does happen in the moment. But Alpha Arcadia is opting to go to his red and just doing a full clear here. Just make sure no one's taking Rift in a very sneaky way. But yeah, right now it's just come to a stagnant lane phase once again, and no one's really opting to go for any engages here. BladeXR.
Good bit of damage onto Gator there. BladeXR just looking to farm up on this Misfortune. Misfortune, very, very good champion, by the way. Another one that's kind of underutilized by NTEL teams, and hopefully BladeXR can popularize it a little bit because, yeah, Misfortune, Cogmore, kind of, you know, very, very strong AD carries that just don't see a lot of play. It's usually the Kaisers and the Ashes and the Ezreals that we see, but I feel like they're a little bit old meta now. So
yeah, and they're a bit harder to pull off as well, and maybe it's just a sign for other teams to go back to fundamental roots and pull off, you know, Misfortunes with high base damage ultimates and very easy kits to pull off, or Ashe ultimates that we've seen coming out of Destiny, and their overall kits are just pretty easy to pull off. But Right now, it's just... I feel like Youngbloods, they're not sure what to do here. They're just reacting to what Destiny does.
Polio getting a nice little bit of damage. And yeah, they aren't really playing with a clear win con in mind. They're not really playing towards something. It does seem like they're just kind of running around the map, getting what they can. Nick Chu's in position here, though. Flash forward from Fast Runner into a nice knockup.
Oh,
Flash heal forced out from Bloodxa, but he is able to sneak out of there. And he does turn around, blows the bullet time. A Dream to Me might go down here. He finds himself a kill on the Fast Runner. He's going to get out alive! No, the flash forward from Gator finishes him off, and they might be able to get Bloodxa here as well. One more hit will do it. Nick Chu, can he land the E? Q is not enough. He needs the E. He doesn't land it. Oh, the drain. There it is, and he trades a 1-for-1. I'm not sure if that's even worth. Is Kaiser going to get out alive? No, he's not. Gator's going to get caught out by Alpha Arcasia, and he's going to go down. Unfortunate.
So Bloodxa had to make a decision there. He could have walked away potentially to live or try to kill him fast enough, but opted to try and kill him fast enough and ends up dying. But either way, it's a trade, but Bloodxa 1-3 at the moment, and a bit of a misplay coming out of Django.
Django should die here. Oh no, never mind. Really, Polio didn't have the ultimate available, my mistake.
He probably used it in an earlier trade, and that's why Django was so low. But forced to TP back into lane here, I would assume, or else he's going to lose lane pressure even more. As really Polio just showing why top lane pressure is very vital, and he might get collapsed here. Does land the Q from Nocturne.
Yeah, Dark Knight 721 is going to land the fear here, unless really Polio flashes away. Nicely done indeed. Just
I believe we came out of sync. Right now I'm at 12. It froze on me for a little bit. 1, 2, 3.
I'm a little bit ahead of you.
4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10.
Alright, I think we're in sync now.
Cool, cool. Oh, that damage coming out. Just 1 Q.
Oh, beautiful pillar into the equalizer. Gator is going to get melted there. Left, right, good night. And that is just going to be an easy kill into a Rift Herald here. And that should be first tower going over to Jewpies Angels.
Yeah, I can actually see Trundle and Misfortune working with that pillar and MF combo. It actually does look quite fun to play. So, the Trundle support pick into MF actually is quite good.
Django, really, and Polio tussling here in the top lane. Does look like really and Polio is winning this one out. He has the ultimate coming up in just a few seconds. And Django not even needing it. He's going to get that nice little kill there.
Oh,
ooh, Han Solo.
Yeah, so Django just opting to limit test, I think, and not moving his character. He just takes the auto attacks and eventually goes down to really Polio. And right now they're just poised to take their entire jungle, which is not a good sign for Youngbloods. They're taking this red away.
Yeah, there's not much you can do when you're in the position of Youngbloods here, except for, just watching and waiting.
Yeah.
Oh, Dark Knight, he is going to go in here on Challenge for Jade. The fear is not going to pop, and the shockwave is there. Solo kill turnaround coming out from Challenger for Jade.
So a bit of macro misplay coming out of Dark Knight. Just thought the fear would be enough, but obviously Challenger for Jade just dropping that shockwave before it actually gets feared.
Fast Runner whipping another look, unfortunately.
There we go.
That would have been a kill if it landed, but not gonna predict the sidestep, and is gonna miss as a result.
Yeah, so right now everything's kind of riding on this blitz to land a hook to get someone out of position, because everyone else is just so behind.
Yeah, you can be super ahead, and then all of a sudden Blitz just lands a great hook onto someone that has, like, this Orianna massive 500 gold shutdown sitting on their head. Just gets a nice little free kill by just chucking her into the middle of your team and CCing her a bunch, and then all of a sudden, the game is looking a lot more even. So Blitzcrank definitely does have that random X factor of hooks, but you do have to land them for that to happen. So all eyes are on Fast Runner here.
Yeah, to try and make a difference here. And Alpha Arcasia deciding to finish a Night Harvester as a first item. He really likes that item, Cadius. He really does. Yeah, especially if you have a lead like that.
I mean, it's probably a lot better in this game than it was in the last one. The last one, he had, multiple front lines, and he did go for, I believe he actually went for Riftmaker and not Night Harvester last game.
Yep.
He went for a Riftmaker, which made a lot more sense into the composition. Not quite Leandri's Torment. I still would have liked to have seen Leandri's Demonic Embrace a little bit more. I feel like that would have been more damage output, but Riftmaker definitely still quite a lot of damage in that kind of a game. So, still fine. But in this game, I think Night Harvester, probably the buy anyway. Really good into Nocturne, really good into Fiddlesticks, really good into Kai'Sa, so a lot of champions that you can be a little bit aggressive on. And here we go.
Oh, here we go.
The Crow Storm here, flashing forward. Paranoia lands its way onto Bladexa. They're trying to use Paranoia Stand United combo. It doesn't come through in time, though, I'm afraid. He is going to get cancelled by Viego, and that's going to be a massive bullet time. And it is going to land a Bladexa, a nice double kill in the mid lane. And now Jewpies Angels looking to find themselves their second tower of the match.
So a bit of a misplay coming out of Dark Knight. He popped his ultimate early, which gave Jewpies an indication they were going for a hard engage there, and they were already backing off before Nick
He's getting melted here. Oh my goodness, he dashes forward actually and manages to finish off Trundle, but he's going to get taken down 1-for-1 by Bladexa as they grab the tier 2 in the bot lane. Really Empoleon maybe biting off a little more than he can chew. Or is he? No, he actually manages to get out alive thanks to Viego's very balanced passive.
And
what is Fast Runner doing? Oh my
no.
goodness, what was that? I can't even cast that. What did I just watch?
I don't know if we could say lag, but nevertheless, Fast Runner going down there, unfortunately, landing and whiffing. No, actually, just whiffing his hook. And challenge for Jade, just cleaning up the spoils there. But Jewpies are definitely running away with this game now with 11k gold lead. And they're going to be poised to take this rift and hopefully kind of, I don't want to say put Youngbloods out of their misery, but it's quite insurmountable at this point. So hopefully Jewpies can finish us off in quick fashion. But you never know, they could pull off a Wombo and a Blitz Hook. That's why they picked the champion. But if Fast Runner's going to run down like that, then it's a bit questionable at this point.
Yeah, definitely the teams are just not playing with anything in mind right now. Like, you look at Youngbloods, they're just clearly not playing with, like, an objective in mind, whereas Jewpies Angels always seem to be grouping around something, moving around for something. They're playing for something at every stage of the game. Does seem like that's the main deciding factor, whereas Youngbloods just kind of looking to get kills and push where they can and just sort of playing very reactively. Django getting caught out by an equalizer here, has to flash.
So, Flash coming out, unfortunately, for Django. Now he does not have that team fight threat besides his ultimate, which will be up momentarily. And Fiddle's waiting in the wing.
Oh, Fiddle gets caught out, actually. They do spot him. Django, this damage on the Rumble right now. Oh my goodness, almost melts through the health bar of Youngbloods' top laner.
Lucky he bought that mantle when he died before, or else he would have been dead. But man, that damage coming out from the Night Harvester. Alpha Arcasia,
it's
Rumble
pretty
special.
disgusting. Alpha Arcasia showing why he's one of the best junglers in the season.
And right now, Youngblood's struggling to just get any sort of gold into their pockets, and they're going to take Rift here and crack open the base, so to speak. Fast Runner looking for a
if you're in Fast Runner's position right now, I don't think you want to be hooking anybody. I think hooking anybody is going to set up kills. But here we go. William Polio does land the stun onto Fast Runner, and he's going to go down. A Dream to Meme chasing after Gator right now. The slow is there. Stand United comes through, though. Is he going to come out? Here comes Django, but he's in the middle of 3 people. He's looking for a Dream to Meme, but the subjugation is there. He's going to stay alive. Bullet time comes through, but he's going to go down. William Polio finding himself getting a nice little kill as well onto Nikchu in the jungle while it happened, and that was just very, very close to being good, but unfortunately Gator just getting taken down a little bit too quickly there, and Django just not quite having the damage there as well to kill through the massive healing that subjugation gives.
Yeah, and Dream to Meme with the happy feet, able to dodge out everyone or everything that Youngblood's threw at them.
This damage, Viego, is so gross. Shockwave lands onto Gator, and now we have members of Jewpies Angels blast coning over the wall. They're looking for Dark Knight. He's able to get out to safety thanks to a beautiful taunt from Django, which is only going to find them a kill onto Bladexa. This could be their chance to go back. What is Nikchu doing? Interesting usage of the Zhonya's Hourglass just there, or the stopwatch, I should say. Equalizer lands onto Dark Knight 721. He's forced to back off. Beautiful hook lands its way onto Alpha Arcasia. He's forced to flash, but so is Fast Runner, trying to get away from Rillian Polio. Rillian Polio going forward, lands the kill onto Blitz, using the Blitz hook to land the kill onto Gator, and that's going to be a full team wipe just about, with Dark Knight 721 left by himself to defend against 4 members of Jewpies Angels, plus the Crab. And we'll see if he's able to make it work. It doesn't look like he is. He's just going to preserve the KDA, sitting in the fountain, and that is going to be Jewpies Angels picking up their second win of the night.
Wow, and they made a statement there with a 20-minute game with Shelley on top. So, Jewpies showing why they're the reigning champions. And a bit of spicy fireworks in the last minute of the game, taking a blast cone into the enemy base. I think that's the first time I've seen it this season, Cadius. It was quite a sight to behold. But nevertheless, we'll have to discuss MVP and SVP. And I think it's safe to say we don't have to give it to Blade Exa in this instance. We'll have to give it to someone else. What are your thoughts?
I gotta say that both Challenger for Jade, Alpha Arcasia, and A Dream to Meme are probably my 3 to look at here. So what are your thoughts exactly?
Or just based off it was a dominating performance coming from William Polio, and everyone else just kind of fell into place. Oriana, Challenger for Jade with decent shockwaves, able to control the lane, suffocating Dark Knight, and the fact that Dark Knight had 0 KP throughout the entire game just shows his lane dominance as Oriana with Phase Rush, able to pick that champion and just completely shut down Dark Knight. And A Dream to Meme with the happy feet and with the highest kill participation, just showing that Trundle support has come to the Rift, and A Dream to Meme was able to pull that off successfully. So I'm kind of leaning towards Dream to Meme. Just it's really hard to pick anyone else.
He'd be picking up his second MVP of the match.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
But he did play very, very well. Didn't really give anything away that he needed to. They did actually lose a few bot lane 2v2s though, which is the thing. And I think a lot of what turned bot lane around from potentially being disastrous into something a little bit favorable was actually Alpha Arcasia and Challenger for Jade making really good rotations down to the bot side and helping land those kills, 3v2, 4v2, etc. And they were almost always there to counter gank as well, Alpha Arcasia, as well as Challenger for Jade. And I think Challenger for Jade especially 6, 0, and 9 on this Oriana with a massive CS lead over Dark Knight. And that's not an easy matchup either. Like, Nocturne is really, really good at dealing with those mages in lane, lands the Q, runs up, lands the E, gets the fear, tons of damage, and is able to just sustain really well. So not to scoff at there on Challenger for Jade and Alpha Arcasia, but I definitely think it probably is out of one of those two.
Yep. Out of those two, I'd probably pick Challenger for Jade. Just a pretty flawless performance and just shutting down Dark Knight completely. And also with those rotations, as you mentioned. So I think my vote will probably go to him, Cadius, Challenger for Jade for MVP.
All right, well, let me chuck that one up here. Challenger for Jade. And then our SVP, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, a bit tough, but I feel like Fast Runner did land some key hooks. And a good follow-up coming out of their AD carry as well. It's really hard not to give it to anyone else. I feel like it's one of those two in the bot lane. I feel like the rest went flat. So I'm kind of leaning towards the Blitz just because he made things happen. But at the same time, their AD carry just managed to get a lot of damage out and fulfill her role, even in a pretty bad matchup. But I think I'm leaning towards Fast Runner here. What do you think, Cadius?
I don't know. I think back to that mid lane kind of int where they ran it down. Look good. They ran it down, I suppose, and it's really hard for me to justify the MVP, but at the same time, I mean, who can you really give it away to? I think, he definitely was the only player that we've seen in the entire NTEL season so far to make Blood Exa go 0-2 in lane phase. So I think for that reason alone, that is an accomplishment willing enough to give away SVP. So congratulations to Fast Runner for picking that one up.
Congrats.
And now, folks, it's going to be time for us to spin the wheel as we head over to our wheel spin. Let me just sort out the wheel here and throw it over to our Tournament TV here and set up another spin. And if he pops into the chat while we're setting that one up, then
Oh, wait. I think he did respond just in the nick of time.
nah, it does look like he is here. So congratulations to Nick Chu. Awesome. Okay, no, he is here. He is here.
Yeah, he is. Congratulations.
So let me throw it back over to our. Huh? No, Mike is still here. Oh! I have to. Okay. All right, I don't actually know how to get this audio, this mic capture to actually capture during the giveaway screen. So I have to go to this screen to be able to have you hear me. But we're gonna do the prizes now. So everybody watch the spin. And there we have it. Nick Chu is going to win himself a $25 voucher at Tracy Village. So congratulations. Ooh. We're going to send you over a form. So
fill that one out and probably grab a chicken palmy while you're out there, Nick Chu.
Going to drop that one in the chat. So Nick, feel free to fill that one out and they'll find your form entrant. And yeah. And then you can get your prize. So
nice.
Very awesome. Now we're going to throw it over to the end of our stream. But Chris, was there anything that you want to add?
Not much besides a very dominating performance coming out of our reigning champions. Pretty good games overall, pretty clean games. Hopefully we'll be able to see some upsets like we did last week with Destiny and Team FF. Not sure if anyone's up to the task for toppling the reigning champs. They seem to be really well rounded, but yeah, thanks for everyone that's watching, and hopefully we'll be able to see some amazing games next week. And of course, we had some good games today.
Yeah, folks, well, that is going to be that. So thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you all next Thursday as we're going to be hopping into round 6 of NTEL 2021. Until then, my name has been Jackson Cadius Woodward. I've been joined here on the Caster Desk by Chris Strider Pilling. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see all of you beautiful people in the chat and in the games next week. So farewell.
I'll see you later.